Hey guys, how are you? How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. It's nice to see you guys. We obviously wanted to, even though it's the holidays, still put in some work and give you guys some good information out here, especially since I know a lot of people are actually home. So we actually probably will reach out to a lot more people because they're probably available. They don't have to work. So this is a good time to pull up some good topics and share them with you guys. So I'm a little excited about it, especially since it is the month of No Nut November, right? So
Oh, so you're gonna go there off top. This is where you're going. This
I
is where
did.
you're gonna go.
It's
All right.
I'm saying, it's time to reflect. If you're saving yourself, you're not throwing your seeds out here. We're gonna work on ourselves in November, right? That's what we should have been doing. It's almost over. So as we go out here in the streets and try to find good sales for Christmas.
So what we're giving them an award for this? Is that what you're trying to say? You're giving them an award for doing something like this, which I believe is just not even real.
Yeah.
Like, because when you look at how many people are having kids throughout the spring and summertime, that whole analogy is not even real to me. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you guys encouragement to save yourselves. But it's very possible that that's not going to happen. But we're going to try, right? Trying is good. Attempt. Hi there. So hey, Frosty. We're going to attempt to do such. So we're going to give you some positive information. You're going to share it with your friends and family. Hopefully, it's going to be great. You don't feel like? I mean, I don't believe in this nonsense of this particular month, the No Nut.
You see a right up here?
But who am I?
That's fine. Sorry about that.
I don't believe it, but it's okay. No, it's okay. It doesn't. Listen, we're not gonna tell people not to give it out for the rest of November. We're gonna tell them to think carefully about doing it. How about that?
I mean, however you want to try to spin this narrative, you can try to spin it, but I mean, to me, it's not. It doesn't even make any sense. It don't even make any sense.
Okay.
Like it doesn't because at the end of the day, people are still going to be people. So I think, I mean, maybe if they did it for maybe religious purposes or maybe health purposes, I could see. But yeah, everything else that even has to do with don't even make no sense. But go ahead.
Okay, Big Rig. Okay, so
do the Big Rig slaps. What's going on, brother?
I know. Yeah, we definitely want to say thank you guys for coming and sitting here with us today. But our topic today was relationship attachments. I also thought since maybe you're holding out, it's a good opportunity for you to find out what relationship attachments are, and then kind of see if that's something that you could take into consideration when you're looking for your new boo for this week. You're right.
For the winter, right. Okay.
for the winter because I'm not gonna lie to you. I think a lot of people try to find the boo the winter. You said it's cold outside last time we spoke. It's cold outside.
Well, it's cold in certain areas. It ain't
People
cold in
might try to
Cali.
find
It's kind of warm today.
okay.
It's kind of warm this weekend.
Okay, so it's not too cold, but
I mean, it's snowing in
if
some
you are
East
looking
Coast
for a
places,
boo,
but yeah.
yeah. See, look, it is cold. Someone's cold. Okay, so we want to make
Salute to
sure
K
that if
Marion.
you're
Good
gonna
to see
find a
you. Good to
boo,
see you. Salute
hey,
to
Key,
M3.
quantum
What's
love.
going
We're
on,
gonna
M3?
find
Salute
someone.
to Quantum Love. What's going on?
Yes,
What's going on?
quantum love. Try to be positive about our love connections. That's what I think. I think it's gonna be a positive love connection, somewhere out there. Okay, that's what I'm trying to promote positive connections. Is what we're gonna do.
Oh,
So I brought up some connections here. Okay, so I wanted to make sure I give this to you. If you guys don't know, there are some kind of attachments that you make as people. Okay, you attach to people a certain way. It's not that you'll be that way forever, but if you find someone or you are that person who connects in a bad way, that would probably explain some of the things you do. Right? That's fair to say. If you know more about yourself and know about things that are out there, you can make better choices. So I think that's what we're trying to promote. Okay. Oh, you mentioned. Well, here we go. Okay, there are the four. We got four of them. Okay, and we're gonna get to. We have four of our connections that we're gonna talk about. There's a secure attachment. Okay, we have an avoidant, anxious attachment. We have an anxious. Okay, and then preoccupied and disorganized. So we're gonna go through each one of those, and we're gonna give you out that information, and then we're gonna go from there. And you guys kind of comment after that and then see where we are. So we're just gonna give you a spill. We won't be on here too long, what you guys know. So we're aiming for an hour because I know you guys want to get back to loved ones. You can come back and look at this even later. So we want to give you that opportunity to do such. We don't want to be on here too long during the holidays. Okay. So thank you for joining us, anyone who's done so far.
hey, look, y'all got 5 minutes, all right? Y'all got 5 minutes, all right? They done took the food out up in here. Y'all got 5 minutes. Y'all ain't
Wow,
on here in
you
5 minutes.
hungry,
I'm
hungry.
out. All right, y'all got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. All right, and it's about to be three
You
minutes in
trying
a
to get
second.
food for real?
Yeah, I'm trying to eat, man. Let's see
Horrible.
y'all eating. Why can't I eat? I want to eat too.
Why did you eat? You haven't eaten yet. You're on the line. You should
I
have.
mean, a
You
little
should
something.
have.
I had a little something. I had a little something. I had a little something. I had a little something.
But okay, now you're
Oh,
gonna make me ask what kind of meat you're eating. But I don't know if I should ask.
I mean, I do a little bit of everything. But I don't really do pork though. That's the one thing I try to stay away from is pork.
Okay, so you're gonna do some
'Cause
chicken, maybe
it's
turkey.
yeah. I do chicken, beef, turkey. Yeah, you know, duck if it's accessible. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of fancy though, but yeah.
You're a duck man. I didn't even know that you pulled that
I
out
eat a
your
little bit of
hat.
everything. Like I said, except for the pork. Y'all can keep the pork. Brother don't want no pork. I'm good.
Okay,
Only the lean meat. Lamb. I'll do some lamb. Highlight the lamb with the brother.
lamb
Yeah,
chops.
do
Okay,
some lamb.
I
Yeah.
feel you on that. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna start out with that. We're gonna start with our secure attachment, guys. I know most people think they have a secure attachment. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. Secure attachments. Okay, I'm gonna read some of these from definitions. Okay, from Psych Central. Okay, these are .com. They are a whole bunch of resources when it comes to the attachment styles. You can look them up. I would obviously suggest a resource that will give you good information as you go up. That's not just somebody on YouTube. At least you can look them up if they're a doctor or something like that. But since I know that these exist, I just grabbed this for a quick review for us. But a secure attachment is defined by the ability to build healthy, long lasting relationships. Okay, that's what most people say. Okay, secure attachment is the result of feeling secure with your caregiver from a child and being able to ask for a reassurance or validation without punishment. Ultimately, you felt safe, understood, comforted, comforted, and valued during your early interactions. Okay, and your caregivers were probably emotionally available and they were aware of their own emotions and behaviors. Hence, children who are secure with their attachments. Okay, that's fair. They got that.
Salute to Wally.
Hey,
Wally,
once
what's up, bro? What's going on, brother? Salute to sister Inye Nia. Hey, Inye, what's going on?
hey,
Hey.
hey,
What's going on? What's going on?
how you guys doing?
Everybody coming in little by little. I
Okay.
see y'all.
All right. So these ones are secure. Most people they think it was about 70% or 80% of people usually have secure attachment styles. Okay, so that's there's hope for us. Look, we already start off with a good top number. Okay, a good top number. I mean, that's pretty high. It's pretty high. But remember that if you get damaged really bad by someone else, you may then change your secure attachment style to something different. So this is where people say you may be damaged, and then you're like, why am I damaged? I don't understand. Blah blah blah. Right. So you can't, even if you're in a secure kind of attacher, you can change that. So these styles aren't going to stay there forever. Obviously, they will change if you're interacting with someone who's going to make you do something different. Uh, Interacting with a lot of people will start to make you do things differently, move differently, and you're going to attach to people differently, and then you need to figure that out, and then you got to work on that. Obviously, therapy is great. Okay, so we're going to give you that. But a person who's had secure attachment style, okay, they can regulate their emotions, easily trust others, effective communication skills, ability to seek emotional support. They're comfortable being alone. Did you hear what I said? They're comfortable being alone. And that goes for men and women because they think men will go out here if they are alone, they will go out too. Don't think it's just women, okay? They're easy to connect with. They can manage conflict well. Okay, we're managing conflict well. Hey there. High self esteem, ability to be emotionally available, self in
Salute to sister
partnerships.
Hanifa. Good to see you. Good to see you. Peace and blessings.
Anything.
Happy holidays to y'all too, man. My bad. Happy holidays to all y'all in the chat and all
Yes. Yes. Happy holidays, guys. Okay, those are really good. And most people say they for somebody with all those things, right? You want to look for somebody with all those great things, and that's what you look for. So, how do you get into that kind of relationship? Okay, as a result, people with secure attachment styles tend to relationships well, and they generally are positive, trusting, loving with their partners. Okay, that's what everybody says they want to look for. Okay, and then like I said, it's a good percentage of people are that way, but then something may happen, and then that changes it. Okay, so we're all looking kind of for that. I will say most time you hear people online or somewhere that's what they're looking for. Now we're gonna go into some of the ones we don't want. Okay, avoiding attachment styles. Okay, oh these guys. Just starting off just like that. Okay. Avoidant, dismissive avoidant, or anxious avoidant are all the words for the same insecure attachment style. They're defined by failures to build long term relationships with others due to the inability to engage in a physical and emotional intimacy. Okay, that sounds horrible, to be honest. In childhood, how did they start off? They either had strict or emotionally distant, absent caregivers. Okay, the caregiver may have left you to tend to defend for yourself, expect you to be independent, premeditated you for depending on them. Okay, reprimanded you for depending on them, rejected you when expressing your needs or emotions, and been slow to respond to your basic needs. Okay, yes, if you guys want to get in the chat, let me know. But so these are avoidant attachment styles. So that's kind of where their parents were, and so for people who brought them up, some avoidant producing parents are often neglectful, simply busy, slightly disinterested, and concerned with things like grades, chores, or manners than feelings, hopes, dreams, and fears. So they're going to be like real focused on things that they maybe just they're worried about. They're not really worried about how you feel about something. You need to do this. Make sure you got this job. It's like over the top. Okay, that's what happens with these people. As a result, these children may learn to adapt to a strong sense of independence, and so they don't have to rely on anyone else for care and support. Okay, boom. Okay, I'm gonna get John. Like I said, just gonna hit these up for us, and we're gonna go back and talk about them. Now, they're anxious avoidant. Now, what makes them anxious? Okay, they feel a strong sense of independence. They are uncomfortable expressing their feelings, dismissive of others, have hard times trusting people, threat anyone who tries to get close to you. Okay. Oh, I was looking up there. Hey there, anybody new coming in? They avoid emotional or physical intimacy. They have a hard time trusting others. They feel threatened by anyone who tries to get close to you. Like I said, the other way, spend more time alone than interacting with others and believes you don't need others in your life.
Oh, I know how that feels. Somebody trying to put you in a
Okay.
cage. Oh, Lord have mercy.
You heard it? Or anybody been with somebody like that?
Mm, mm,
That's
mm.
real. That sound rough, don't it? That
That's
sound
prison.
rough. It
Like, let me
almost,
breathe.
if you really, did it almost sound like this could be a lot of ways that people who are, really controlling over their partners. That's what it sounds like. A lot of people who are like that. They don't think, they say you don't need anybody but me. All that. It's yeah. It sounds like a prison. You're right. You're right. They have no need for emotional intimacy. So these are people who really don't like. They like you, but they don't really know how to express it. You ever had that happen? I've been with something like that. Like it's like they like you, but it's like they don't know how to show it.
Or if they show it, it's super like just toxic and controlling. It's just like, oh, like back up. You know what I mean?
It's really weird. These people, I tell you. Okay, and they said let's see here. Now in this that will be like the need for emotional intimacy is simply lacking in this type of individual. So romantic relationships are not able to reach any level of depth. While they allow romantic partners to engage with them, they avoid getting emotionally close. A partner may feel as if they can never get inside and will inadvertently be stonewalled or dismissed. All right. Yeah, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, depending on a partner for validation and emotional regulation. Now, that one in codependent tendencies. Okay, that is anxious attachment style. So I think that one a lot of people have the anxious attachment style. So they fear rejection, fear abandonment. They're dependent on validation for emotional regulation. I feel like a lot of women are that. I'll be honest, a lot of women that I come in contact with because they're
Facts.
constant. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Facts.
they need a lot of validation. I've met people and I'm just like, you need to be
Man.
validated. So, and it's to be simple things like girls who need someone to tell them every time they put on a dress, you look wonderful. He never gives me compliments. There's a difference between regular compliments and then there's like higher level. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why a lot of women reach out to social media. And I'm not saying it's just, anyone. We all get kind of fascinated people saying that we're cool on social media these days. But the ones who will say like, I'd rather have I'd rather have Instagram than a boyfriend. Why do you? Because I feel like it gives me something more emotionally. That sounds you like you have an anxious attachment style. You do not feel validated, and the only way you can get validate yourself is with these likes because it's a number. You can see it. You know what I'm
But my
saying?
but my but my thing with that is this, right? My thing is this, right? At the end of the day,
Mhm.
right? Excuse the laughing all in the background, y'all. I'm at a house. But yeah, my thing is this, right? At the end of the day, it's like, if you constantly always need that from somebody, then it's like it's a problem. Like, okay, sometimes here and there that's cool. Sometimes, we spend some time that's cool. But it's like all the time, like it's just like sometimes you just need that time for yourself. Sometimes you don't even kind of even want to bond with yourself. Sometimes you just want to be by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like we're human, so we have every human needs a good balance of everything. So of course you don't want people to isolate, right? We don't want isolation. We don't want
Right.
somebody to be completely isolated from people. But in the same instance, we still want um, we still have that need to basically be independent as well, right? That's where we get our personality from. That's where we get our character from. That's where we get like our habits and stuff like that by us, forming these things, through us, being around people, but also us doing that things by ourselves and kind of figuring things out. Like you can live in a house with a bunch of siblings, and y'all all related, but y'all not all the same. Like y'all have different
Right.
characteristics. So one sibling, they may like spicy food. You don't want nothing to do with spicy food. Like that's not your thing at all. Don't bring me nothing spicy. Like if I even see a pepper, I'm tripping. You know what I mean? Like no, I want something. I have a different palate. So if you have that
Right.
even with food, then just imagine personality. It's even gonna be even a more of a variation. You know what I mean, of a different personality. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see more differences in that personality. Yeah, you'll see some similarities too because they're related, but you'll also see differences
Yeah.
as well. So, and that comes from you being your own person. So of course, at times you are going to want to be by yourself, and then at times you're going to want to spend time with people. It's a balance, and you got to have a healthy balance. If it's not healthy, it's
Oh
going to
yeah.
be really bad.
Oh, that's really true. So yeah. So now we just went over. We're still in anxious attachment right now. Just want everybody to know who came in. Talk about anxious attachment styles. I have fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, dependent on a partner for validation, emotional regulation, and codependent tendencies. I've, sometimes there you've been a partner also that it's like whatever happens to you happens to them, but it's not like a good thing. Like if you're upset that day, they're upset that day, and maybe you'll change your
Yeah,
emotion. They'll still be in that state. It's like everything that happens, like they're mirroring your emotions. And sometimes if you need someone to be there for you or bring you out of that funk, they're not going to
salute
be
to
able to
Sir
do
Hill
that.
speaks. Sir Hill, what's going on, brother?
You know what I'm saying? So I was in a relationship with someone who's very, very codependent on me. And it felt stressful to me because I felt like if anything ever happened for me, everything would fall apart. But if I needed someone to be strong for me or support me, I didn't have that because they didn't, mimicking me. It was really odd.
Or they
But
would
it was a weird
expect you to
feeling.
kind of just they would kind of expect you just to run you they would kind of expect you to just like react to their emotions the way that you react to it. You know what I'm saying? Or you supposed to react to their
Right.
emotions and kind of be automatically empathetic or sympathetic or even cognitive of what they feel. Like like you want me to be cognitive of what you're going through, but I don't even know what you're going through. Like I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's a woman
Like
thing. I've
they
I've kind of seen it with men somewhat here and there, but maybe that's a woman thing where it's like, well, how come you didn't know that this was like this? Like, it's like what? Like, look, I'm
how
barely
would I
awake.
know?
Like, I just got up, or I'm doing this, or I'm at work, or I'm just, I'm trying to focus on something. So it's like, it's not that I don't care. It's just the fact that like,
Right.
oh man, oh. Happy Turkey Day, you know what I mean? And Miss Oshun, aka
Lola.
Lola, aka Scully. The Chronicles a little early, you know what I'm saying? Got the Chronicles and the Black File a little early today on the Turkey Day, you
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
But wait a
You
minute,
know?
can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
as you know,
Yeah.
I've been struggle streaming for the last couple days. I don't understand.
They don't want the truth to come
It
out. That's why
happens
they
to
don't want
me
the
too.
truth to come out. They're mad at the truth. They don't want the truth to
That's
come
what
out.
it is. That's
But yeah,
exactly
I
what it
think
is. So we
I think that like some people just want you to feel what they feel at that moment, and it's like I don't even know what's going on. Like I have no idea what you're even going through. You know what I mean? And then when you ask them to explain, they go on to they'll try to go on a huge rant about how you don't care and all this other stuff, and that's just toxic, man. Nobody's have to deal with that. I ain't dealing with that,
you
and I'll
can't
tell
do
anybody don't put yourself through that. So yeah,
right. Now
Okay,
as
so what
children, they were
happened?
saying here, so we're talking about attachment styles. So we were just talking about this. We're still on this one, but it kind of this little article kind of makes it into pieces. Talk about anxious attachment styles, and we're kind of talking about how they, how they actually characterize, and then we talk about how it looks when their parent is taking care of them, and then it kind of says, these things can you attach to people and give some examples. So we were talking about anxious one, and they were saying that the anxious people are a fear of rejection. They depend on a partner for validation, emotional regulation, and their codependent tendencies. Then we were talking about their parents. With their parents, they get extremely stressed when their caregiver leaves them. So if you're really really dependent on their parent or caregiver around them because they're mimicking their emotions, and if they're not there, they actually don't know how to feel. That's what this little article was saying. And they also said that their parents may have had been easily overwhelmed, been sometimes attentive, and then pushed them away. Um, Made them responsible for how they felt. So their mom's like, oh, I feel, I feel sad or whatever, and they kind of say, oh, it might be because of you're not cleaning up, or whatever. They may, children obviously might take that on. That's what this article was saying. Then they says that they may often grow up thinking that they are supposed to take care of other people's feelings, and often become codependent. So that's the example of the anxious attachment style. And they said signs that you are anxious and attaching that way. You're clingy, highly sensitive to criticism, real or perceived, needing approval from others, jealousy tendencies, difficulty being alone, low self-esteem, feel unworthy of love, intense fear of rejection, significant fear of abandonment, and a difficulty trusting others. And so that's going to be anxious. So it just ask, did anybody ever feel that way with someone in a relationship?
Now, Lola, have you felt that way, or is that you? Be honest. Here we go. Let's get it.
Okay, and okay, I no shade, but academia is based on certain types of understandings, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If that's the case, then I'm just all messed up. If you know what I mean. Like I'm just screwed out here, and everybody I know is screwed. So I don't understand that. Like, I really don't understand their logic with that, because it's almost like saying anything you experience means you're crazy. Anything. Like, we all depend on that. The word validation literally comes from it's you can't be validated in and of yourself. You don't need validation if you're the only thing that exists. So it has to have a two-part. It's a two-part. So it's like for you to say, well, you need validation. We all need validation, like from our parents first, and then from our group, our peer group, and then from our siblings, and then from our mates and stuff. It's like we all need. Here's the thing: that corporations spend billions of dollars in understanding how to validate employees. They can further the company's agenda because they know how important that is to validate your employees. That they need to be validated.
No,
that's a human thing.
The black lady. Yeah, isn't it great too? May.
Oh, that's he muted it. He's at someone's house.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. They pour millions of dollars into validating their people because they know how the human psyche works. But then other factions will make these articles stating, well, if you need to be validated, then you have a toxic attachment style that you need to let go of. And it's like, listen, I'm tired of certain people, MzPoly. I'm tired of these people like that. Okay, basically playing both ends from the middle. I'm tired of it. Like, crazy if you do it, and you sane if you do it, and the only crazy and sane when we tell you.
She ain't even answering the question.
Yes,
I asked this woman, are you the person that's asking for too much attention and you're unbalanced? Or are you the person that's getting people that's unbalanced, and you got the man that's stalking you and calling you all the time and sending you all the messages? Who are you? Which one are you?
When I first started talking, the first thing I said is, based on that definition, I am in a toxic connection, and everybody I know is in a toxic connection.
But
like,
are you the culprit? That's what we're asking. Are you the
based
culprit?
on that, yeah, I am the culprit based on
Oh
that.
Lord, have mercy. No.
You are?
Based
I
on
would
what
never
you
admit that.
said,
No.
yeah. Like I look for
I
my
don't.
parents.
Okay,
I
if
look
we
for
were to
my
say,
different places, yeah, I am the culprit. Like I
well,
need.
okay, is there a
approval.
difference
I need
between the
validation.
amount?
Say again.
I said, well, would you say there's an amount? Like, would you say overvalued? I'm gonna be honest, this does not seem like you. I don't know you very well, but this does not seem like these characters do. I just don't get that.
I don't know about that. It kind of seems like a little bit.
I don't know. You think she needs it like every second? She doesn't think. I don't think she needs it every second.
Lola, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Lola is very.
Lola, how
There's
much do you
a reason
eat?
why she
How
has a
much
show on the
tea do you
Intellectual
eat?
SoapBox. There's a reason why she has a show on the Intellectual SoapBox. She's very intellectual, okay? And in her intellectualism, she's already said that she manipulates people, right? And in her way of thinking, right? She needs a certain amount of attention. She needs a certain amount of people around her. She needs certain things to happen. And if they're not happening, she's gonna trip. She is gonna trip. You know what I'm saying? Don't let her be quiet sometimes, and
I
her
don't
cool
think it's
demeanor
an
fool
unhealthy
you.
amount.
All right, there's
Is
a
it an
volcano there.
unhealthy amount? Is it an unhealthy amount?
Yeah, at times, yes. At times, yes.
I don't think it's
yes.
unhealthy.
At times, probably
Oh,
yes.
at times. Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
I grew
so you
up
might have
as-
sometimes you get out of line.
But no. I at some point I have my times where I'm a daddy's girl. I am, and I do need that validation in the same light. There's times when yes, I do rely on others to, you know, in a sense, fill the gap that they're supposed to fill. Everybody in my life plays a position, and when somebody's taken, obviously there's a void there, and I just personally feel like there's nothing wrong with you feeling like you have an attachment to that which you're supposed to have an attachment. I mean, anything you build anything with, there's an emotional or psychological attachment to it. For instance, okay, when you break up with someone, right? Why do you feel sad? Like, why do you feel sad? What is the logic in feeling sad?
Because you were sprung.
No. What is missing now that you need to feel sad? You're still breathing. You're still eating. Your health is still.
I just gave you the answer.
Why are you sad?
Well,
I just gave you the answer.
That's it.
I just gave you the answer because you were sprung. I just gave you the answer. I just gave you the answer.
You have a connection to someone that's not physical, and when it's broken, it causes some level of detachment, and that detachment causes an emotional response. So therefore, no one's gonna tell me
Salute to Raw Uncut. What's going on, Raw Uncut?
No one's gonna tell me that because you have an attachment to something that somehow is toxic. You're supposed to be attached to certain things. So I don't understand what this issue is.
Do you feel worthy of love?
Do I feel
that's what it says.
It
says these people
These
look like
questions.
they feel unworthy of love and
unworthy of love.
assurance from their partners.
I personally don't feel that I'm unworthy of love, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I had a friend that felt she was unworthy of love, not because she.
Salute to Harris Tribe Media Group. What's going on?
Not because she was human or nothing like that, but because she had done things that nobody knew about, and she had a guilt factor going on. So she felt like in her relationship she didn't deserve the love she was getting because. Obviously, there's things that people don't know, but that is a circumstance. But I'll be honest with you, that's a legitimate circumstance. It's a legitimate
That is.
So I don't understand what these people.
Okay, well, let's read some more of this. I want to see if this sounds like you, because you don't want who's gonna know, and I don't know. They often blame themselves for challenges in the relationship and can exhibit frequent and intense jealousy or distrust.
M3, that's not Raw B, man. Not Raw B.
What happened?
Try to make sure nobody gets
M3. No. M3 asked a question in the chat, and I was just telling him that it wasn't that person.
I want y'all to know, I don't got my glasses on, so I'm deep. Okay, I should put them on. Anyway, ultimately, there's a deep-rooted fear of being abandoned, rejected, or alone, and those fears typically express themselves in these ways.
So that person's crazy, basically.
So they didn't say you'll stay this way forever. They're stressed. They're stressed. Highly stressed. I'll give you that. I'll give you highly stressed.
They're crazy.
Okay, I think
No,
they're
when you
stressed. I think they're under
when you
stress of
care,
being
when
left.
you care about someone, you are stressed when certain things happen that creates a void. Like that's a natural response.
Nah, it's crazy.
No, all I'm saying is every time I've ever had a breakup with someone, I've been stressed because on some level. Now it depends on how much I cared about that person, it's depending on how stressed I was. But each breakup, I was stressed or
Okay.
whatever. Like I get stressed.
But this is before the breakup, Lola. This is before the breakup. This is before you broke up with someone. This is before. This is during the actual relationship. You are stressed every moment they're going to leave you or they're honest. You basically are prepping, like you're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. Like you're like, oh, they're gonna screw me over, but I'm gonna sit here quietly. They're
when
gonna screw me
somebody's
over.
in a really good relationship, right? That's really good, like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Don't everybody get those stress like thoughts that this isn't real, something's gonna happen, it's gonna mess up. Everybody gets a little stressed when things are going great. Just a little bit.
So. I don't get stressed. No,
not stressed all the time. Not all the time, but just a little bit. Like there's a thought in your mind when you find something that's finally on point. The first thing you say is, "This is a little too good to be true," and you start looking to make sure everything is supposed to be the way it is. No, but that's not all the time. That's just like a thought. But what you're talking about is a constant thing, meaning every single day. But that right there is psychosis. If you're thinking about the same thought every single day, that's a psychosis. That's something different than normal stress. Like I'm always stressed about losing my man, but I'm not stressed to the point where I'm angry or I'm depressed. I'm always looking for, okay, I hope he doesn't cheat on me. That is a stress factor. But I'm not out in the street feeling like I need to pop pills to stay awoke on that. Like
Okay, but so if you were highly stressed, if you were this person who has anxiety, this person may do something like you said, like they're like you said, you might not try to outwardly show it, but maybe some comments you make, you might slip up, make a little comment. If they like go to the store, you'd be like, oh, you was out there pretty long, like you was hanging out with somebody. Like you might be joking, but they're not joking. They're like, they just don't trust. It's scary. Would you say that that's in there?
Now, it depends on the frequency because everything's about balance, right? I know for me, I usually joke with certain people that I'm close to in a relationship about them cheating on me. Like, it's a joke. Rarely it's a joke. But there is certain times where it's not a joke and people are dead ass. And it's all the time. And it gets to the point where you don't even give a fuck if you cheat or not because this person's always thinking you're going to cheat. You remember that song by Keisha Cole, I Should Have Cheated?
Oh, yeah.
That's because of that. That's because of that shit right there. That right there.
That's some crazy women songs you're talking about. That's some crazy women songs.
Crazy women.
Yes, it is. Don't stop listening to that. That's not helping you. So it's a piece of my mind. Good to see you, sister.
Scary.
Much love.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying.
We on the.
I remember that song, and that song was really about that. Yeah.
That was okay. I didn't know that, but I feel it. I thought she was saying she was mad because he was acting up, and she wished she had did crazy stuff too, so they could be equal. I thought that's what. No.
If you listen to the not just the chorus, but the rest of the song, she talks about how basically there was no trust. And she was doing everything right, and it still basically fell through. And for all of
that, the 6 ball. Good to see you.
She might as well had cheated. Like that's essentially what it is. Okay. And honestly, I felt that same way.
Have to go back.
I felt that way before in a relationship.
Yeah, we know you felt that way before. You listen to them Crazy Woman song. Yeah, y'all know the whole song. Y'all know the whole song.
I don't know the whole song.
The chorus, everything, the ad-libs, everything. Y'all know the whole thing. You do and all that. You know, yes, you do, because you just explained the whole song. You know the whole song. Don't backtrack.
I know what it's about.
No, you say you know the song. Don't do that.
It's the point that she's making, though. That's it's the point that she's making, and I've been in that.
Point out some stuff. Okay. So I'm gonna give you the last one. We did 2.
No, she knows she learned the whole
song.
We
gotta go because we said we weren't gonna go to. We don't come back. We don't come back. Let's give the last one, and we'll come back on. We gotta push forward. So we have disorganized attachment style, anxious, disorganized. Okay. So they're anxious and disorganized. They have difficult trusting others. They're extremely inconsistent behavior. That's what they had. The most common cause of disorganized attachment style usually is trauma, childhood trauma, neglect or abuse, fear of their parents. Their sense of safety is also present. All right, let's go down some more. They may seem very confused as a child. Caregivers are inconsistent, often seem as a source of comfort and fear by the child. Okay, that's the signs. Fear of rejection, inability to regulate, contradictory behavior, high levels of anxiety, difficulty trusting others, signs of both avoidant and anxious attachment styles. So they sound like they're a combination of that's a crazy. See here, they also in adulthood will have mood disorders, personality disorders. It might self harm, substance abuse disorders. They may have part of that. Damn, that sound like that sound like how you don't want to be with. Okay. How it manifests in the relationship. People with disorganized attachment style tend to have unpredictable and confusing behavior. They alternate between being aloof and independent and being clingy and emotional. Well, that's horrible. Mm-mm.
I think a lot of that explanation is a bit convoluted, just a bit, because we know some
It
people that are
is.
over emotional that don't have some of that, and then the other way around. So I think the definition might be a bit convoluted for us to say, "Oh, I know someone exactly like that."
Right.
It's kind of hard to cherry pick that. Because honestly, what
A good
happens
point.
with your
Good.
parents does affect how you act as a child, as an adult. That's normal for your
Mhm.
childhood to, dictate how you are as an adult. However, it's like, well, okay, as a children, you're supposed to be attached to your parents. So again, it's like, okay, I think they need to be a little clearer on that, just a little bit. I'm not saying like it's not a
Right.
thing.
And then they said they desperately seek love, push their partners of
Hold on,
fear.
ladies. We got pause a second. We got pause a second. Gotta
Oh,
give a shout out. You know what I mean? To my man, Big Rick Slaps. You know what I'm saying? Don't have to easily Rick. You already know what's going
hey.
on. Pimpin', talk to us, man. What's good? Talk to me.
What's going on, man? I just, I tapped in, seen y'all in the chat, man, seeing it where y'all was headed. You feel me? I just said a couple of things, so I'm just gonna catch on, man, what y'all talking about, and then I'll go ahead and drop something. You feel me?
Okay. Okay. We were talking about attachment styles for relationships. Basically, we're talking about the four attachment styles that these lovely scholars have come up with, and we're kind of talking about how it may be something you should look for. Not just people say, "Oh, look for signs," and we know people get hurt and they build walls and they have their own way of dealing with that, and those are things they have to work on. But also learn what kind of attachments people have to you and to other people. So then, if you're in a relationship with someone or you want to seek one, you can kind of say, "Hey, this attachment that you have to me, this maybe is unhealthy to some degree. Work on particular parts of it."
Salute, Mr.
And
She
so we
Said.
were talking about those. We have a secure relationship. They said it's like 80%. Most people have a secure attachment style. The avoidant attachment style, and then there's the anxious attachment style and a disorganized attachment style. So there's four of them, and it sounds like the ones that hit with Lola. We were talking about the anxious one, and then the avoidant one. Those are the two that have the big distinction. And disorganized sounds more like anxious and avoidant mixed together.
Mhm.
So it's basically, for me, it feels like it might be just three, but one of them, that person seemed like they switch from one extreme to the next, and they usually have some kind of they usually, I guess, what they're saying, the scholars here are saying, they usually end up having dependencies on something or having mental health issues at some point in their life, or they abuse drugs or whatever, to help them cope with some of these feelings instead of getting help. So the one that I've been with some people, like I said, the anxious one. I've been with someone like that, and then the avoidant person, sometimes they attach differently. So like here's an example, because I've used myself. Like I've been with someone who I thought they were giving me a whole bunch of stuff that I liked and needed, and they was like, yeah, I got everything I like, need, and I give them all the stuff that they like for me. But in fact, I was giving them something that they like. I was helping them with everything, but if I didn't do that for them, like they would just seem like they'd fall apart. And that was a problem, because if I couldn't give them what they needed, like I'm talking about, like uh, without me in the home, without me around them, they couldn't function. They would literally look like they're having a breakdown, because I did so much for them as a person giving all the time, but that wasn't helping them. So move myself, they started to build those skills, by themselves, being independent, and they became a stronger person in my eyes. And I'm like, oh, look, look what you accomplished by yourself. And that was something they
So
built
the Linnea
naturally.
Monroe herbal butterfly. What's going on, family?
Hey. So yeah, that's coming to just kind of catch you back up. So Rick, if you figure that out, I think you have a better chance finding someone who you can stay with long term, have a good long term relationship with. So we were going back to Lola, because the soapbox wanted to know.
Relationships is work though daily. There ain't really nothing
That's
that it's work daily, and everybody gonna have a background. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think knowing that background, or not even maybe knowing detail the background, but just knowing that someone has certain tendencies, that can be helpful for you to find out why they do particular things? Is it worth finding out?
I lost a little bit what you were saying towards the end. What'd you say again?
I say, is it worth finding out someone's attachment style, so you can kind of figure out why they act the way they act, why they do the things they do? Um, would you say that would be something you should look for? I know everyone has damage, everyone has problems, everyone has
Yes.
things they went through, but finding out why something, would that be a positive thing?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I've been through, you know, kind of like an attachment to where I felt it really wasn't in a good place. You know what I'm saying? So I would think it was better to kind of part, but at the same time, I should have did more vetting. You know what I'm saying, on that person, on how they mind works. See, everything is fun and games and everything. You know, in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But then as the relationship progresses, you know what I'm saying, you get to really, I guess, people open up more or something. You get to see real, real shit coming out. You know what I mean? Like, it could be a month, two, whatever, but you start seeing a whole different side. And then you can kind of see, what maybe their past relationships or whatever past on both parts, you feel me? And then they can kind of come into play in the relationship that you kind of dealing with now, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just, I don't really talk too much on relationship stuff because, like, I'm more of a person where it's work daily. You know what I'm saying? Every day is not going to be a good day. You know, it's just work, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all about it. What you feel about that person. You know what I mean? If you feel it's worth it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's going to be bumps. You know what I'm saying? But if you can outweigh the good with some maybe the bad, you know, that's kind of how I look at it.
Okay. So yeah, and when you say work, that's what I mean. Because I know a lot of people, for me,
Salute
because
Darren
I hear what
Long.
you're saying, but I think
Yeah, shout out to
a lot of people avoid things. They'll just say, "Oh, we're working on a relationship." But my question is, what exactly are you doing to work on it? If you don't know what you're working on, just saying I'm going to work on it is not enough. Saying every time we get in an
working on
argument,
it is
I'm
your
gonna work on it.
issues.
I'm gonna try not to argue with you. What I want,
It,
as a person, I want you to find out why you're behaving the way you're behaving, and then fix that particular issue. Just saying I'm not going to argue with you. For me, it isn't enough. If, let's say, for example, if someone is That's that. What was that last one? Avoidance style. And they have a hard time. They spend more time alone than interactors. If they are always like wanting to not be around, and you're a person who really likes to spend time with your partner, you're gonna feel like they don't want to be around you. Like, do they really like me? And you're gonna ask those questions. So then, if you find out, hey, this person, when they were younger, they tend to do this. They didn't spend a lot of time with anyone else, and this is how they act. It's not because of me. I don't have to be offended by it. I don't have to take it away. I could just say sometimes he needs private time because that's his personality, and then I can then move accordingly to my partner based on that, instead of saying, oh, that man don't like you, girl. My friend comes over, it's like, girl, he never hang with you, he never go out with you, because my partner likes his independent time.
What you just said was money.
Don't like me. That's working on it.
That's what you just said is money. That's what
I mean. That's why I feel like
working. Straight up. It ain't really that difficult.
I think people will say, oh, you're working on it. I don't think that. And I don't think
relationships are really that difficult, man.
When I
Hold on, do y'all hear Big Rig? You hear Big Rig? Big Rig trying to say something, y'all.
I don't know if there's a delay or what.
Oh,
I don't know if they can hear me or not. No, I was just agreeing on what you were saying. Like what
I hear him.
Yeah, I think I may have a delay, man. Maybe my Wi-Fi is a little funny or something.
Mine is too.
I'm gonna drop out and then I'll drop back in.
It might be me too, but okay. Is it Monroe? Sorry if I say it wrong, because my glasses is not on. But if your love language is now, that's another thing, separate from the attachment, your love languages, that's important to find out your love languages. If you don't know, those are ways that you show love, like to receive love. And those are important too to your relationship, because I don't think it means every single moment of the day is going to depend on that, but it actually will help you understand people. And then once you kind of understand how people could move, then it's like, oh, okay. It doesn't mean it's not like one of those things where like, oh, I'm a Sagittarius and this happens, this happens. This is how I like to receive things. This is how I give out love. And then you can be like, hey, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? You don't want everybody to say, oh yeah, it's because you're a Libra. You can't, no. We're saying these are behaviors or things you do. And this is why you may react to a certain thing.
I think everybody need to love. I think everybody need love languages. I think everybody need all of those things. Like if you're not getting all those things in your relationship, I think it's gonna be a problem. You need all of them. What is it, 4 or 5 or whatever it is? I think you need all of them. So I would never say I just want one. No, I want all of them. I want the words. I want the gifts. I want everything. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to give everything too. So it's gotta be both.
Wait a minute. You want all of it, but
yeah. Why wouldn't I?
You can't. What do you mean? How do you? Because that doesn't make sense. It's a way you like to get love. You like to give love. You like every kind of way.
Yep.
You don't disagree on any one of those. You don't favor one more than the other.
Nope.
That I'm not gonna do this game with you. I love that.
I'm being
do you think you
have? I told you everything.
I don't know if you know the language.
All of the above. Ain't no just one. All the above.
I'm listening to you.
That's what I feel.
I think he may have more than he has one and above. For the people
don't listen to
MzPoly. They're
don't listen to her.
So love languages. No, that's lie. Don't. Yes, please do. Your love language. What is your love language? Yes, he's being ridiculous. He's saying he likes them all equally. I don't think that's true.
Why? Okay. Why every time man say what he really want, y'all don't believe it? Every time man say he wants something, There's always a disclaimer
I
or something
said
like
I
that.
don't
I'm
think
telling
it's
you what
true
it
that you
is.
don't play others.
Why is it not true? I'm telling you what it is.
You have one over the
I'm
other.
being transparent.
You had to get rid of one. Okay.
I'm not
I'll
getting
be.
rid of none. That's what I'm telling you. No, not one, none anything. I think Miss Oshuna doing some research for our show on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Please tune in on Sunday. You know what I mean? You know, depending on your standard time. You know what I mean? Please
What?
tune into the Black Cloud. You know, for a limited time. You know what I mean? We get shut down.
Listen, you guys asked me about my love language.
Salute the quantum love metaphysician.
Okay, now the short
Yes. What is that? Because if you don't know, because we have to clarify first. Is words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service.
Okay, I'll be honest
So
with you.
the reason why I say you couldn't be all is because it's weird.
Say that again.
I said I could told Soapbox you can't be all of them because if you like to receive gifts as your kind of love, then you giving it out all the time, I don't think that would match. But he said he can.
Salute the homie Truth. Truth, what up, baby? Blood and family. What up?
Hey, well, okay, let me say this right. When you're a well-rounded person, you can't really, you can have one love language that you lean more towards, right? But it's very possible to be someone that leans towards several love languages and even all of them, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if you took away one of those from me, I would feel it. Like, and I wouldn't feel like you don't love me, but I would definitely feel the loss of something. So I'm one of those people where, if if you don't touch me, right, I got an issue. If you don't spend time with me, I got an issue. If I don't hear any words of affirmation, I got an issue. If time, all of that. You see what I'm saying? Acts of service, because I'm very much big on service. Like, I will feel that. So I'm not the type of person where as long as you spend time with me, I'm good. Like, I'm not. It's like it's no one thing there. So I can't really. I have to agree with Mr. Best and say that I can't say that I'm one or the other.
But
Exactly.
And this wait, but this is set out of
Hold on, I'm about to call something out, MzPoly. I'm calling something out.
No,
Quantum love. If you
if
don't say hi to me in the comments, Quantum love.
If that is
You
true,
don't say hi to me in the comments, Quantum love. I'm coming for you. You just say hi to me, and the rest of us on stage don't say hi to the rest of us. When you come my show,
I heard
you dust your feet off.
Take it away, she will feel some kind of way, right?
I'm messing with Quantum love. She know I'm messing with her. I'm just messing with her. Go ahead, MzPoly.
I know if you have an anxious attachment style, then that means if anyone has given you all those or you like all those and they take it away, it's going to trigger you. So then that would make sense. So if you like all those, if someone's giving you those and they took one away, that would strike you as an anxiety moment because you're going to be like, wait a minute, something's wrong. And that would tap into, if not, not just using the anxious attachment style. So that means that you're being hurt because there's something that's changing and you don't like change.
Well, I wouldn't say that I don't like change. Right?
Salute, Ms. Nebraska. Salute.
Okay, well, there's a lot of people up in this chat. But anyway,
keep going.
I would say it's not so much an issue of not liking change, but rather change that doesn't result in anything positive. That's the issue. It's like if things changed and it was all great with each change, sure, change all day. But when you take something away and it's not replaced with something, that's a problem. When you replace something with something that's not equal to it, that's a problem. When you totally add on something else that's not necessary and things become convoluted, that's a problem. So I don't believe that change is the issue. I believe that change towards what position, a different position, that might be the issue. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't feel that I have any attachment issues because of that. But I do feel like, okay, I'm not attached to people as much as I'm attached to the principle of it and what it means to me. It's not the person, it's the principle of it I'm attached to. So if you take away acts of service, yet you're still servicing me with your mouth, the imbalance is the issue. It's not so much, oh, well, you're not giving me what I want. It's like, no, there's an imbalance there. And I grew up in a balanced circumstance with my father and honestly with my mom too, to a large degree, on the whole acts of service and words of affirmation thing. I grew up with a good balance of that. So yeah, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, that clinical stuff, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I
know Lola, because I like to hear Lola's point of view on that. And what now? What about if you had to? What if you took?
Wait, you said something clinically?
One that you can live without.
You said something clinically. What are we saying clinically? I'm kind of lost.
No, what I was saying was that when you get to a point where you're saying, well, because someone needs what they need, that now they have a clinical problem and there's no explanation on it. That's the issue there. That's the issue.
I hear it. But some people are just crazy, though. I want you to know that. Some
people are.
Well, we said that doesn't count. Mental illness does not count in this.
Well, and that's the thing. It's this subconscious thing. Like, well, if you need all 5 love languages, right? Something's wrong with you. Or if you only need one, and if you get anything else, you don't have no response to it, then something's wrong with you. So basically, again, no matter what you do, something's wrong with you. I'll be honest with you. Like, I kind of do feel like people that if they can't handle more than one love language, right, then it's like, okay, like something is wrong for them. I do look at them a little weird. Like if somebody says, well, look, you did X and X and X and X and X and X, but you didn't do this. And it's like, you got all of this, but the issue is you didn't do one little thing. I get it that human beings are fickle, honestly. I get it. But see, at that point, I kind of feel like, all right, if you can't understand the language of love, not your love language, but the language of love, that now you're getting into some muddy water. Because again, how you want to be loved, right, isn't necessarily how you might need to be loved or how someone else can love you. So you have to be able to speak all love languages, because when you are able to speak all love languages, you can appreciate more love. You can accept more things as love, and you can give more love when you understand more than one love language. I really don't like people that sit there and say, my love language is words of affirmation, as if acts of service to you isn't loving you. I don't like that. Personally, I don't like that. I have no respect for that. So, that's why I've striven, if that's a word, to make sure that I'm not like that I'm not just kind of boxed into that corner. And I know some people, they're okay in their corners. They are. But I don't want to be like that. I really don't. I don't feel like I could ever be loved correctly if all I do, the only way I see love is through one channel. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And I agree. And I do agree with that, what she was saying, because there are, like I said, since I obviously date more one person, it's different because we've had that conversation where like, hey, this is okay, well, here's an example, like time. One of my partners really likes time. His time equals love to him in his mind. Doesn't mean that nothing else doesn't mean it, but that's really important to him because that's how he views it. For me, when I see that, if at first I was like, well, I'm the kind of person, time doesn't mean too much to me. Like it's about what we have, not necessarily the amount of time. And I just had to say, they kind of like to have that time with me, a little bit more time to me. I can give that, even though it doesn't equal the same to me in my mind. Mentally, I still say, hey, this equals that to them, and I want to give that to them because that's my act of service that I give out. So it like she said, it can change. You do need to know what they are and kind of, I think, recognize it so that you won't interpret someone doing something wrong and they're not. It's just, this is just who they are. And that's, that's how they, or you can kind of explain to them, hey, I know that means a lot to you. Let me do this for you. You can kind of maneuver in your relationship a little bit better. And the communication is like the number one probably work on. If you have a real issue with that.
Let me speak to this comment, and for all of y'all that are saying people not crazy, the one that's saying people not crazy, y'all probably crazy. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. Y'all probably the ones that's really crazy. All right, y'all probably crazy. I'm just gonna be completely honest. Y'all cuckoo for cocoa puffs. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You crazy. You crazy in the cat stuff. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. All right. But for those who realize that there's craziness and there may be crazy people, we're usually the ones that sing. You know what I mean? But the ones that say, "Oh, I ain't crazy," there ain't no crazy people. Those are the ones. Those are the ones you gotta watch out for. Watch your back. All right. Don't sleep with one eye open. Okay. And sleep with one eye open and one foot out the door. All right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, not the door. Really? I'm just gonna say, you guys, it's okay if you don't crazy. Then would you be crazy? I don't know. Maybe you would seek help. So
You said,
I
say
don't
that
know.
again.
It's a good question.
Say that again.
If crazy people knew they were crazy, then would they really be crazy? Because they would probably seek help. If you knew you were crazy, wouldn't you seek help?
Just because you're seeking help,
So crazy people don't know they're crazy.
Well, no. You got to understand, like, crazy, the word crazy just indicates something that's not understood. It's like, if I see something that you don't, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It just means you don't understand what I'm seeing, and I don't understand what you're seeing. So therefore, we both perceive to be crazy to each other. That's what that means. Now, when you talk about somebody that has a personality disorder, right? That exists in degrees. So it's like, some people, and it's to a large degree, it's biology based. So again, now you're in muddy water because it's like, well, how much of this chemical missing from you versus this? Like, we all see that in, for instance, people with Down syndrome and different stuff like that. There's a personality thing there, and it's chemically based. So are they crazy? Because a lot of them can't look you straight in the eye. That's something that's common with them. It's like, what does that do in terms of the psychology of that? It's like, are they crazy? We wouldn't qualify that as crazy. But again, crazy is what we understand, what we don't. The reason why I don't is because I don't try to understand people like to that degree. I just don't. Like, I'm okay with not knowing. Like, I'm okay. So they not crazy to me. I'm okay. They're fine.
Oh, let me say this. Let me welcome Mr. Nebraska and Peace of My Mind. Let me say this real quick, right?
Hey,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Turkey Day, y'all. Hold on. Let me talk real quick. Now listen. Now look. Lola. I've been with.
Hey, happy
I've been.
Thanksgiving.
I've been supporting what you trying to say, but yeah, you sound a little crazy right now. I'm just letting you know you sound a little crazy right now. You sound a little crazy. But
Wow.
Miss Nebraska, welcome to the panel. No, I mean,
Hey,
definitely
hey,
share.
everybody.
You up next? So what you got? What you got for us on this topic? What's up?
What did I walk into?
I'm trying to
We
find
was
out
talking
too
about
because my
attachment.
phone.
Right.
Yeah, my phone. I dropped. So within the last 5 minutes, I probably haven't been able to hear what you guys have said. So I just want to make sure I address the topic. We're talking about attachment. Hello.
Yep, attachments, relationship attachments.
Okay, so what?
Yeah,
Right. So what are they?
relationship
hold on.
attachments.
Peace my mom. Miss Nebraska's actually first. So Miss Nebraska, go
Oh,
ahead. You go first, and then
my
Peace my mind.
apologies.
You after.
Oh no,
Okay.
I was just asking what did I walk into?
Oh, you walking into a lie. You walking to a lie. It's a lot of crazy right now. But no, go ahead, Miss Polly. Break it down. Break it down to what you're talking about.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna get because new people are in the room, right? Okay, so we're talking about attachment styles and how people attach to each other. The four of them. We have the secure attachment, the anxious attachment, the anxious attachment, and disorganized attachment.
Baby, what
So
kind of
the
attachment styles
avoidant
you think
one,
there are?
anxious and disorganized, and then there's four. Did you hear me? Peace of mind. I don't know. I might be a little behind.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm listening. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the second one is
And so,
how people see. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go
so
ahead.
can you define each one for me?
Oh yes. Okay. I'm sorry. There's like a little mind delay a little bit. Sorry. So the secure attachment, we went through this one, and it kind of, let's say, the signs of the attachment
Mhm.
is ability to regulate your emotions, easily trusting of
That
others,
didn't know anything about
effective
attachment stuff.
communication skills, ability to seek emotional support, comfortable being alone, comfortable in close relationships, ability to self reflect with your partner, being easy to connect with, ability to manage and conflict well, high self esteem, and ability to be emotionally available. That is the secure one. And then I'm going to go down here a little bit. The next one is going to be the avoidant attachment style. This one, it says you feel a strong sense of independence. You're uncomfortable expressing your feelings. You are dismissive of others. Have a hard time trusting the people. Feeling threatened by anyone who tries to get close to you. Spend more time alone than interacting with others. Believe you don't need others in your life. Commitment issues. And then persistently avoiding emotional physical intimacy. So that's the avoidant one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our anxious attachment. Let's go down here a little bit. This is a clingy tendencies, highly sensitive to criticism, real or perceived, needing approval from others, jealousy tendencies, difficulty being alone, low self esteem, feeling unworthy of love, intense fear of rejection, significantly fear of abandonment, trusting others. And then the last one that we were talking about was the disorganized attachment, and it's disorganized because it says it combines both the avoidant and the what was it? What avoidant, and it combines both of the two anxious together, and they usually uh combined with signs of rejection, inability to regulate emotions, contradicting
Mm-hmm.
behaviors, high levels of anxiety, difficulty trusting others, and personality disorders and self. They usually
So,
try
so
to
what do I'm
harm
sorry. Yeah.
themselves,
So, what do we do
or
with this
substance
information?
disorders.
Oh, can you hear me?
So with this information, I was saying, is it good to at least? Yes, I said I think with this information, even though it's you don't have to get it real deep with it if you don't want to know what kind of attachment people may have, or how you attach to others, so that you can just be aware of it, and then maybe manage that. If you feel like you're always anxious, like Lola, we were talking about, if you feel always anxious every time your partner goes out, that they're doing something wrong, you may not address it to them every time, but you have this tendency to think every person's going out and doing something wrong, or going to do you wrong. This high, like it's not just normal worry. Like Lola was, you might have it's too good to be true. Not that we're talking about a different level. You don't trust anyone. You don't want anyone around your partner. You want to isolate them because you think that if people them, there's something's gonna go wrong. Those kind of things like that. Then if you are
So
aware of
again,
that, or
how
your
do
partner
they
maybe
apply it?
mentions it to you,
Right. So once you experience that
Oh,
emotion, what
peace,
do you
mama. Hold
do
on.
with it?
You got to let her finish the point, and then you can answer. Just let her finish the point. She's almost done.
Okay.
yeah, no, I was saying then you can adjust it. You may need to go see a therapist, possibly. That is a big one. Go talk to a therapist, talk to someone about it. If you have that much anxiety and you're like, this isn't normal. Some people actually think that's normal feelings. That's not normal feelings. So with this information, at least take it and think about it. That's not a normal feeling. If you feel that way, there's probably something wrong to that degree. Or think about it. Like, do I always do this? Am I always needing validation for everything I do? Because if I think I move this way, something's wrong. Constantly needing someone to make sure that everything you do is right. That's not normal behavior. So if you know that, then maybe you can move a little different, or ask for help, or seek out help from a
For
specialist.
which for
Just
which
just be
attachment
aware of these
style?
things exist. Any of them, I guess, other than secure.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
I would say any of those other security.
Salute
If
to
you
sophomore Marcus. I know he's making some
start
sandwiches,
drinking
especially on Thanksgiving. Probably
like
eating
that
them
last
too.
one,
So like once you're in like the heat of the moment, how
oh
do you
Lord,
apply these things that we're talking about? Because
okay.
a therapist can talk to you about that stuff later on, but like right now, how do you apply these things when you really need them?
Just how do you apply? I'm not asking you to apply it. I'm just giving you the information. That's what I'm letting people be aware
Like,
that
do
there
you
are
have
certain
any
things
scenarios?
that you do.
Like maybe
You're
any
attaching to
scenarios for
others.
each attachment? Like, so maybe for each attachment style. So let's go back to the first one. What's the first
Oh,
attachment
sure.
style?
Okay. So that was just
Salute to B-Eazy. B-Eazy That Dude. Salute, man.
that was going to be secure.
Mm-hmm.
That
How
was
does
going
that one work?
and it's about 80% of people are usually secure. They have to be secure and then change maybe with drama or trauma. Any of those things can change. You don't stay stagnant. So those change, but those are positive things. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to the next one because we want to go to the one that we don't want.
Well, no.
So
With
the
the secure
anxious
one, like, is there a
attachment
scenario we
style.
could with the
Mhm.
no. So the one that we're on, like, can we come up with a scenario where maybe we can apply this one so we can show how to actually utilize the
Mhm.
things we're talking about right now?
Oh. Oh, absolutely. Okay, so I would say healthy communication would be very well. So let's say that if you're in a secure situation, you starting to talk to someone, they feel insecure about every time you're not with them. They feel like something's wrong. You're not reaching out to them. You're not texting them all the time. You're not doing something to interact with them to make sure they feel like you're interested. If you're in that situation and you notice they keep doing this, instead of just cutting them off or ghosting them, which some people do, they say, oh, well, you're just very needy. Maybe you can step up and say, hey, I just want you to know I'm just really busy communicating. Hey, I'm really busy. I just wanted you to know, so I may not be able to hit you up as often as I like to, but I'll try to hit you up at this time and this time. Kind of setting schedules for people that you can actually make sure you can, obtain. Like, don't do something ridiculous you can't obtain. That would be a healthy way to communicate with someone so you can actually reassure them if they're having those issues. But if you're on the other side and you're feeling insecure, then we'll go to that when we get the other way. So you can really like help others that you're with or trying to talk
Mm-hmm.
to by communicating with them
Only me,
effectively.
homie. Only me.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And the second attachment style, what was that?
Oh, let me go down here. Sorry, make sure I said in order because I had it on the screen here.
Mm-hmm.
The avoidant attachment style. That one was the. Let me go down a little further here. They feel have a strong sense of independence. They're uncomfortable expressing their feelings. They are dismissive of others. Have a hard time trusting people. Spend time alone more than interacting with other people. Believe you don't need others in life. They have commitment issues,
I'm sorry, guys.
and
I'll
they're
be right
uncomfortable
back up.
expressing their
I gotta go do
feelings.
something. I'll be right back. I'll tune back in later. I'll be right back. Give me about 5 minutes. Give me a minute. Take care.
Sure, sure. So yeah, and I do like that piece. Wanted us to give examples to people so they can find out what to do with it. So for someone in that situation, like how would you apply this? If you see, it's sometimes hard to see yourself too. So somebody might have to mention it to you. But remember, if you keep hearing something from the same person over and over again, or if you keep hearing the same thing from multiple partners, those are red flags. I can see easier. Obviously, I'm poly, so I date more than one person. So if one person says something to me and the other one, it's easier for me to kind of figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So if someone's like saying, "Hey, you do this all the time," and that's annoying, and the other one say a couple weeks later, say, "Yeah, you do that all the time," and I'm like, "Hang on, why they both say that?" When two people are saying you doing something, it's probably going to take a little bit of self reflection because I can see it. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, wow, that doesn't make sense. Two people I'm with are saying something. But if you're by yourself, then if someone keeps repeating something over and over again, you may want to look into it. Doesn't mean that you are that way. Just take a moment and say, hey, is it me? Take a moment, do a checklist and find out if it's something that you're doing. So this particular person, it was avoidant. They're really, really independent. They don't really like to be around others a whole bunch. Um, like you said, they could actually. We were just talking about that earlier with Soapbox. They almost like they kind of feel like they're not like detached from you, even though they're with you. And when they try to express how they feel, you may feel like that's not how you usually would receive love, or that's not how you feel good. They'll say, "Oh, I'm with you. I really care about you," but then you feel like showing it by doing certain steps. But that's just not how they show how they care, and they're by out all the time. You feel like you outweighed around or something like that, and that's okay. To feel like, oh, they're proud of me, they're happy of me, and they may not do those things. So you may think that's not something I want from somebody. If you're in that position, I will definitely say you to maybe try to step outside your box a little bit. You like to be in the house all day playing video games. It's just, for example, for the guys, take a moment and say, "Hey, I would like to go out with you, maybe, twice a month. Let's go do something that's special for us. That's outside your realm. You have to come outside your box. So you can go outside your box and stop avoiding others, interacting with others, and it shows other people that you really want to be in a relationship with them. So that's one way to do it. Just for that particular example, everyone's going to be a little different. That's why I say go talk to someone else. It could be a life coach. It don't have to be some crazy therapist that charge you $300. But if you need help finding out, well, what am I doing? You need an example. You can go talk to someone and get yourself in a position where you can kind of evaluate yourself, because you maybe think it's normal and it's not. So,
Is it really that? Is it really that deep?
huh, Lola?
Is it really that deep though?
I don't necessarily dealing with it. I will say yes. If you really want to be with someone, you love them, and you don't go outside, you don't do anything with them, and they really want you to be, if it looks like every time you go out, you're about to throw up, and they just want to go out with you and spend a good time with you, and you want to be with them, that could be a problem, because that's someone who wants to be with you. You want to be with them, but that part hurts their feelings. So yeah, it's valuable when you deem it is.
I kind of feel like if
You
you don't, no, here's the thing. You have to understand there's certain things that are innate to nature that you're going to have to accept. And if you're having trouble accepting that, then nature has a place for you, period. Like, and this, I'm not trying to rag on nobody, but let me be clear about something. Everything in life is a risk, period. Getting into a relationship is a risk. Walking outside your door is a risk. Getting in your car is a risk. If you can't risk life, then you really shouldn't be living life. And I'm not telling anybody to delete themselves, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Really, I'm not saying that, but in another sense, I'm just trying to tell you what it is. Okay. So when you get into relationships, even the most loving relationships, it's a risk that you're gonna get into a relationship with them and they will pass away in 3 weeks. There's a risk about that. There's a risk that you might go out there and cheat and do something and cause a problem. It's a risk that something strange can happen and the relationship dissolves, not because of anybody's fault. Like for real. So it's like there's always that risk. Now, if you can't handle that risk, that's a you problem. That's not a you being crazy and somebody need to talk to you problem. At some point as an adult, you should have obtained certain skill sets that allow you to live and be in this space called life. But if you have not, what that means is you're not equipped to operate as an adult in the world. And if that's the case, then Mother Nature said you will not operate in this world. And the only thing that get to happening when you get to acting like you can't operate in this world is things get taken away from you. And honestly, right, if we sit here and say that someone who has done everything right deserves to be with someone who's distrusting, and distrust comes with other negative things too. It's never just distrust. It's always something else. Then what you're saying is there's no good in the world because good people deserve bad things and bad things deserve good things. And that's never the case. So at the end of the day, you're not meant to have a fruitful relationship if you're not able or equipped to operate in this world space. You're just not. And honestly, this is a jungle. Only the fittest is supposed to survive. So it's like when we get into this idea of saying, well, you know, as a society, we're going to make it all good and equal and even for everybody. Nature is still saying no. And nothing is equal out here. It's survival of the fittest. The more psychological issues you engage in based on your own self issues or the way your parents raised you, that's unfortunate. But if they didn't equip you, nature says you will not operate as if you are equipped. So it's like we can sit there and say, well, you know, if your partner loves you, then you should go and get help and get this and get that. Keep in mind, time is ticking. Relationships are sensitive, and people don't have time to sit and, in a sense, coddle people with mental issues, not in no healthy relationship. So I'm not a proponent of somebody saying, well, when you got distrust issues, you need to go, you know, talk to a therapist and spend money on your medical bills and all of that, when in reality, all you need to know is every relationship you get in, understand it's going to be a last day. Every single one, whether he leaves because he left because God called him, or if he leaves because his penis decided this ain't enough. He's gonna leave at some point, and you need to be okay with that if you're gonna be in.
Whoa, hold on. You're projecting again. I got
I am
you.
not projecting
Yes,
again.
you are,
Every
because there's some
relationship
people.
ends.
No.
Every
You are
relationship
projecting.
ends.
You
No,
are
every
projecting.
no,
No.
Mr. Bass. Every
No.
relationship
You're
ends.
projecting based on
And
your
if you say that
experience.
it's not
Some
ending,
people
then you're
relationships
lying.
don't end. Some people relationships don't end. Maybe
No,
yours have, but some people relationships
no.
don't end.
Okay, Mr. Best.
You're
If you
projecting.
every relationship I've ever seen in this world has ended either one of two ways. Every single one.
What's the one or two ways?
Either the person dies or they
Yes.
break up. One of the two.
Okay. No. The person dies. Of course, everybody is going to go through that.
What I'm saying is when you enter inside of a relationship, you sign a contract to say, I'm okay with however this relationship ends. Whether it ends in death or something else.
You
You do
kind of
not enter
being morbid though a little
relationships
bit,
under
family.
a contract saying, well, this must happen this way. That's not how life works. And if you can't accept that, then you deserve everything that you get from it. And no, you don't need therapy.
Hold on. Let me say this, right? Yes, I believe life in somewhat happens to everybody, right? So I will give you that. I'll give you that. But some people, life don't happen to like that. Some people will always live high on the hog. Hold on. Some people will always live high on the hog. Some people will never suffer, okay, until the day that they die. Let me finish. And some people will always live comfortably, and they will always live wealthy, and they probably will always live beyond their means. That's for some people. That's not for all people. Okay, just like not all black people live in the hood, just like not all black people live in Beverly Hills. It's outliers to everything in life, especially here in America. So yes, some relationships are going to be healthy. Some are not going to be healthy. Some are going to be good. Some are going to be bad. That's just life. But at the end of the day, excuse me, I get what you're saying about the survival of the fittest thing. I feel you. You know what I mean? Ain't no debate, man. You know what I mean? So we do this all. Me and Lola do this all the time. We have commentary, but you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, at the end of the day, Lola.
My point though.
No, I'm not. But I'm not completely even disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is this, right? What I'm saying is this: at the end of the day, in relationships, right? Some people have relationships where they don't have no issues. Like some people really have like complete happiness and love and joy, and they are enjoying each other. Yeah, you can roll your eyes, but some people have that. Some people, it's not all. It's some.
Everybody, even in the best relationships, they go through
It's probably
turmoil
loving it.
because the reason why they go through
Some
turmoil
people don't.
is because you don't know that. What you know is human beings.
And you don't know that everybody goes through turmoil, though, Lola.
Listen to what I'm saying. A human experience is not all good. That does not exist in this world. Period.
No, that is you haven't experienced that, but it exists for some people. Some people relationships are always good. They don't have no issues. They chilling.
Find me one
What about that
person,
you
bring
don't
them up here,
understand?
and I'll concede that point.
Some people are chilling out here.
Find me
Miss
one
Lola, I
person
want to just
that feels that
I
way.
want to better understand something because
MzPoly chilling. Let me stop.
No, I do have a question because because like I said, I do just better understand because I feel he's stupid. If you're no relationship is gonna be perfect. I'm not saying that, and I don't think that, like you said, when you go to the whoever is equipped to live this life. There are some of us who, even if we aren't equipped, we didn't get something, we don't like something, and or for example, someone may not like to be touched a lot. Okay, from whatever experience, maybe they're raped or whatever. When they go into a relationship, yeah, another person may say, hey, she's a great, I like to, hug and stuff, and they don't give me that part, but I still care about them, I want to be with them. Are you saying those kind of people should just not have relationships? They should just say F it? I just want to understand what you're.
But MzPoly, here's the thing.
Is
I
that
just
what
want to
we're
make
saying?
I want to make a quick caveat. I'm not trying to go away from your question. I just want to make a quick caveat. That perfect comment that you're using, right? Perfection that can change. That can change with anything, right? For me, perfection could be that I come home, the food is already there, she already cooked, she rub my back, I go to bed. That's perfect. I'm not looking for anything else. That's perfect for me. And if she's doing that, that's perfect for me, right? Perfect can be anything for anybody, depending on the relationship. Some people want perfect and they want you to communicate all the time. Some people just want you to be quiet. Perfect can be anything for anybody. That's changing based on the person and what they require in a relationship. So go ahead, Lola. You can answer the question.
I don't see how that moves the needle in terms of anything that was stated as far as that.
No, but she said no relationship is gonna be perfect. But I said perfect can change depending on the person.
Okay, here's the thing. All right, there's no such thing. We can say, oh, it's changing, but at the end of the day, there's no such thing as perfection. Period. There's no perfect person out here that's expecting perfection. Like there's no such thing. Okay, period. So it's like I don't even want to entertain these conversations about, oh, this is perfect for me, because at the end of the day, she might come home and rub your back the way that you like it, but she don't come home and do everything that you like. And here's the thing: if you think you're
how you know that,
you find one person, Mr. Best, just one. Okay, I'm not asking you to find 100. Just one person that fits that narrative you just fit.
Why can't you just say you don't know? You just don't know.
No, just one. Just one.
I'm not talking about characteristics. B-Eazy or anybody else. I'm not talking about characteristics. I'm saying somebody does something that I want and it's perfect for me.
No, you're talking about physical things being done. That's not a relationship.
That maybe it is for me.
No, me rubbing your back.
You can't tell me what a relationship is for me. If it's for me, it's for me. How can you tell me I'm wrong?
No, you're making it subjective, and no one can have a conversation around subjectivity. There's no point in having a conversation. But
relationships are subjectivity. What I want a relationship is not the same for every other man.
You're making everything subjective, and therefore you negate the whole point of conversation when you make everything subjective.
I'm saying if somebody's doing everything I'm asking them to do, it's perfect for me.
You're making it subjective, and you're not understanding how you're doing it, because you're saying, well, if it's okay for me, then it's okay. And it's like,
yes.
At the end of the day, there's no perfect relationship.
Yes, there is. Some people have perfection. They believe they have perfection. Okay, you may not think it's perfect, but it's perfect for them.
No, what it really is. I'm not going to argue that, there's perfect relationships, because I've never seen one. I've never heard of it, and I can't get him to see one person that does have that. But we're arguing about something. It's like there's no point.
There you go. Hold on. I ain't got to say nothing else. Mrs. She said it all. No perfect person. Perfect. That's what I said. Nobody's perfect as far as a person. Mr. He said has been a perfect match for me. That's what I'm saying. It's a perfect match for her.
That's a different conversation.
That's what I'm saying. It's a perfect match for her.
Okay. Let me start over. Stop moving the goalposts. We're not talking about.
I'm not moving the goalposts. That's exactly what I just said.
We're not talking
it's
about
perfect for her.
Matches, though. We're not talking about perfect matches, though. That's a whole.
That's exactly what I was talking about the whole time.
Why are you talking about perfect matches when we're talking about relationships?
She said it's a perfect match for her, right?
So are you saying
you just said nothing is perfect?
You can't have a conversation because everything means everything to everybody, and it's like, okay, if that's the case, then what is the point of even answering?
We're not perfect. Yeah, I know, right?
What's the point? What's the point? I mean, I'm not in the habit of arguing subjectivity. I'm just not. It's like if it's whatever, then fine. Let it be whatever. I'm not gonna argue that. But it's like if you're gonna say, well, every relationship that's a perfect match is a perfect relationship, that's your opinion. But my thing is, find me one
perfectly imperfect. Exactly.
Help me find one perfect match that has a perfect relationship. Help me find those two individuals. At the end of the day, it doesn't exist, which is why MzPoly is having this conversation first.
Nobody said that there's perfect people. I said at times there are perfect relationships based on what that person is asking for. So if that person's a perfect match for you and they meeting everything that you need, and you ain't got no complaints, like Mr. C said just said, they're perfect for each other. She feels like he's perfect. And you can't tell her nothing because you ain't married to him. So how you can tell her that he ain't perfect? It's perfect for her. They're not perfect people, but it's perfect for her.
You're the way you're understanding perfection is not what we're talking
I
about.
know what the woman just said. I just looked at her comments. She said she is a perfect match for her. She didn't
A
say he was a
perfect
perfect person. It's a perfect match for
a
her.
perfect match has nothing to do with how you relate to one another. You could be a perfect match on paper. You could be a perfect match as far as personality traits is concerned. However, on paper,
Oh Lord, I wish Mr. C said would come up, man. Please come up, Mr. C said. Please.
I mean, if you can't negate what it is, then you're not really agreeing with it either. I can respect that. What you can't do is convolute a perfect match with a perfect relationship. You can be a perfect match, of course. Like things can match up, but is that your relationship? No, it's not. Characteristics of perfection is not your relationship. It's not what it is.
What I just said is
You can't
the
keep repeating
listen.
yourself when I've made it clear subjectivity.
No, I'm gonna say what I'm saying. I'm gonna say what I'm saying. When a person says they're a perfect match, they're not saying a perfect person is perfect. They're saying that what they do for them is perfect for them, and that they're happy in that relationship.
There's perfect relationships, so therefore these people should be out there everywhere because there's matches everywhere. So what is the point of your conversation? Please enlighten.
So you say, so let's clarify this. So you said you're moving the goalpost, right? You said they're moving the goalpost.
No,
the relationship itself doesn't have to be perfect.
Let's not even talk about the goalpost. Since there's perfect, perfect people out there, let's talk about why you're even here. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why you even brought this up, if that's the case.
Okay.
Can we get Mr. Nebraska in here?
There's not.
Mr. Nebraska hasn't said anything at all. Mr. Nebraska, if you have anything to say, please talk to him.
Mr. Nebraska, please do.
Miss Holly, I'm just being honest. You know how I feel. I don't argue subjective points. Everybody can have their subjective point, but if you're gonna sit there and say perfection exists on both sides of this, right? On both sides, then in reality, right, there's nothing else to say. It just isn't. So I don't understand the basis of your conversation if that exists somewhere in this universe. So that's what I'm saying. I have to understand the basis for this conversation before I engage in it any further. Because at this point,
I see what she's saying. I see what she's saying.
I'm telling you, Lola projecting. She done said a whole bunch of projecting comments.
Well, let's really hear what Lola's saying. Think about this. If there is, then this would rule out everything. If there was not just monogamy, but there was the perfect person for you out there in their world, and they're here in existence,
and neither will I, Big Riggs, and neither will I.
Then you other people you match with. To be honest with you, I have to agree with her because there's no one's going to be perfect as a person. But do I match with? Absolutely. Do I blend perfectly with someone else? Absolutely. Are they the perfect person? Like everything in the whole.
Keep thinking somebody's gonna be defeated. I'm telling you, I'm Floyd Mayweather.
But do we pair well? Yes. Does that what you're saying?
They always want to. No, you good. They always want to see somebody lose, but ain't nobody losing. I never lose, bro. Never. I do this for fun.
There ain't no perfect person, but there's someone who could be in a match where they find the person that hits. They like even the bad things about them or the things that they, it's fine. But I'm saying if you're having a difficulty in your relationship and you're trying to smooth it out, you're trying to make it better because it's becoming a bigger problem. Maybe you can look into these things. That's really the approach here. Just giving people information. It's not about really a whole bunch of we'll fix the problem because everyone's problem can be fixed differently. So one answer for everything, because if we were all that way, if we were all made out the same cookie cutter, there would be no one, there would be none of these conversations. Because we would all be perfect. And that doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
But
it's not.
I see what you're doing, SoapBox. You're going back and forth. She said there is no person.
I said it's not for everybody. Not everybody has stuff that's perfect. But there's some people who feel like and they believe that their relationship is perfect. They believe that. They believe in their heart that it's perfect. They believe that nothing is wrong with it. They're completely satisfied. Everything's right. Now you may look at them and say that look, hey man, you cat shit crazy. There's a lot of things wrong with your relationship. But for them, they are happy with every single detail of their relationship. And if that person can't do nothing wrong, they're not unsatisfied. They happy with every single thing. You know what I mean? And if that's perfect for them, that's perfect for them. You know what I
But
mean?
they're
Who am I to
happy
say that
with
it's
the
not
bad
perfect?
things too.
Yeah, it's perfect for them. Yeah, they happy with
But
everything.
that's what I said. But
They
they're
ain't got
happy
no
with the bad
complaints.
things. That's part of it. You have to be okay with everything.
But for them, they not. It ain't
But
no bad
listen, what
things
you
for them.
said. They're happy with the
They're not
bad
even.
things. You can't negate that it's bad.
They're
But
not
you
even
can't
thinking about no
negate
bad
that it's
things for
bad.
them.
If your partner
For,
has a drinking problem, but you're okay with them drinking, it still means it's
but we
having a
okay.
drinking problem is still a bad
But now
thing. You
we're
just
picking
are
straws.
okay with it.
We're
It
picking
doesn't
straws.
mean they don't have a problem.
We're picking straws.
No, I'm doing an example. This is an example.
No, I know you give an example. But what I'm saying is that some people are happy with literally everything. They believe in their mind that everything is perfect in a relationship. They believe that they have the perfect person.
It
Some
is
people believe that they have
perfect.
perfection.
Listen,
And they're not they're not thinking about no
like
flaws.
everything about
They're
them,
not thinking
even
about
the
none of that.
bad things. But it doesn't mean the bad things aren't bad. You can't say something bad is not bad. It's bad because it's bad. You can't say it's not bad. If this person, even though you're okay with them doing it, just like you're being with somebody who robs stores, you know they're doing bad things, but you still love them. They still
Okay,
rob stores.
look, I'm not naming all the bad stuff or bad habits people do. I'm saying that in a person's personality or what they're looking for in a relationship, they consider it perfect. That they consider that what they have is perfect. Now we may see all the bad stuff, we may see all the bad habits, we may say, "Oh man, that's crazy." You know what I mean? But for them, they happy about that. And if they're happy about that, then that's just what it is. You know what I mean? If Mr. Nebraska want to say something real quick. I'm about to just pause myself real quick. But go ahead, Mr. Nebraska.
Oh, I don't have anything really to add to this particular conversation. But to go off topic, MzPoly, you do look like Buffy from Married to Medicine. She was on Married to Medicine like a couple of seasons back. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all look just alike.
No, I don't. You know, I've been
y'all got the
I'm
same dimple
right now. At such a thing.
Y'all look like y'all like I don't know. You look like y'all could be sisters. Yeah.
Jeez, I'm from Nebraska. You know, I don't match with nobody. That's fun. What is it? This is bad. Buffy from what is it called?
Married to Medicine. She was on Married to Medicine for like I think 1 or 2 seasons.
Oh, I see her now. Pull her up right this moment right now.
You see the resemblance?
But you know, I'm not gonna. Maybe it's very possible. It's unfortunate. There we go. And you know, I have a short forehead, so my ratio from my eyebrow to my forehead short. Married with Polly. What? Who's married with Polly?
So B-Eazy said
I just noticed Buffy a while ago.
Not Cornhuskin Buffy.
Rude, sir.
Why, thank you.
Let's see here.
Thank you, Kay.
Okay. It is. I appreciate you guys coming through. I didn't want to be too long. I appreciate Lola coming. I like Lola's perspective on things. So I do. And she's a realist, and that's very, very important. I like realists. See, your chat is king. Listen, Miss Nebraska's kid, you all in this chat. I don't know how you doing it, but you're magical because I can't really multitask that well. But I would cannot. But I just wanted to give just our general information. I think sometimes people think I'm trying to find like a solution there. I'm not. I'm if you want me to be your therapist, you have to pay me. And that is a service you can go purchase. But if you just I'm gonna give you just general information and then you can do what you want with it. And sometimes my personal opinion is not the same information I'll give you personally. So that doesn't fly. So if that's a misunderstanding, please don't feel that way. And in half the time, most people don't know if I'm talking about being in a poly situation or a monogamous one. So we would definitely get clarified. So in these kind of situations, just knowing how people attach, that really helped me as someone who has multiple relationships, because I can obviously see a lot more constantly, if that makes sense. Like I can see the difference between different people and how they interact with me, and how I can just be a better person in my relationship itself. That's how I use the information. That's how I try to give it to others. Is just so that you can take the information, take what you want from that, what you think you can use from that, and apply it to yourself if you'd like to. Just being aware of different attachment styles doesn't mean you're going to go and figure out what you're doing with your boyfriend. It's that you're aware of it. So then maybe if there's something you really want to work on, or you get better at something, you can look at it. Love languages. You want to figure out which way you like to receive love, so that when your partner goes out and he buys you a gift and you don't like gifts, you want his time, that's probably because you don't value that as much as you value spending time with him. So when he gives you all these gifts, it means nothing to you. You just throw them to the side. Value that as much as the time he spends with you. So that's something you're aware of, and then you can say, "Hey, listen, I love the gifts. I appreciate you giving them to me. Is it okay if you maybe spend some time with me, because I really like that more than the gifts?" It's just about having the conversation, but you have to know where to start somewhere, right? So get the information, figure out where to start if you want to make improvement, and then go from there. It's not really to be like, I have the answer for all the people who don't like to be touched, who don't want their boyfriends to play video games online, and we hate them. I don't know. Like you gotta find the right person with you, and then you gotta kind of apply these in a relationship later down the line. So let's go with just basic attraction first. Let's just go with basic attraction. Do you like the way they look? Let's just start with that. Or do you like the way, you know, I don't know, like I said, it can't be perfect, right? If they have a chipped tooth, do you find that interesting? Maybe that's your boo with a chipped tooth and you love his chipped tooth, but we all think it's a horrible chipped tooth. I don't know. But find your match. If you want to work in a relationship, this is the way you can just look deeper into your relationship and make it a little bit strong. That's all I wanted to share with y'all today. I thought it'd be a good conversation.
MzPoly, let me add this, right? I think it's easy to say find your match, right? As hard as that is in a world that just hit 8 billion people, right? That's very easy to say. However, what's not easy to say is to tell someone, stop looking for your match and be a match for whoever could be your match. That's the harder part. Meaning, a lot of times when people say, well, I want to be loved the way I want to be loved, right? That, to a degree, that's a bit selfish, all right? Because it makes a lot of assumptions. However, usually people that talk like that are not people that want to be uncomfortable, right? And love someone else in the same fashion that someone else is saying, well, I want you to do this way, even though that's not how you want to be loved. Because often, if I like words of affirmation, I give words of affirmation. That's how I love. But if that's not how that other person loves, now I got to change. And people don't like change. So when you say, well, find your match, it's like, well, find your match of someone that loves like you and want to be loved like you. That's not really a match. That's too much of the same. So it's like, how many people really need to learn how to come out their comfort zone in terms of what they express as love and what they accept as love? Most people need to come out of that so that they don't overlook real love. Real love doesn't always look like words of affirmation, even though that might be what you feel most comfortable in. That might not be what that is. So if that's the only way you can interpret things, and a lot of times it's not as simple as people saying, well, can you just give a little bit more? Most people are saying, if you don't do it this way, then I don't feel love for you. And when people start talking like that, other people are like, first of all, I don't have to do shit. Now you notice that the energy is changing. When people get to being told what they're going to do as far as love, now like human beings just don't like being told what to do when it comes to love. So it's like either you're gonna sit here and train yourself to understand the different languages of love. So when you hear it, you'll understand how to respond. Because that's what it is. Love is a question. Do you have an answer? If you only got one answer to every question, you're gonna lose. You're just gonna lose. And at the end of the day, you should lose because you have the option of making yourself open to different forms of love and understanding this so that you're not locked into what you came into this world with, which is the love that your parents gave you, that you're kind of putting on everybody else. Like, if you don't want to be a good partner, not look for one, but be a good partner, at the end of the day, you most likely now, you're never going to find that good partner. And that's what 85 to 90% of the world is dealing with. The fact that their marital partners are not their ideal partner. It's just not. It's just who they marry.
And that's why you may have.
Who was that? Okay. All I'm saying is people are complaining about their partners because obviously there's something to complain about. And I get it, right? But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, if you're looking for someone that will satisfy you, but your focus is not being someone that anyone can be satisfied with, it's just a circle of nothingness. So that's what I spent my time doing, trying to perfect myself so that I could be flexible in that way. That's most people that have A-type personalities are flexible. That's what it is. I mean, you yourself can say, as someone who practices poly, that if you wasn't flexible as a person, I don't think that lifestyle would even work for you. So it's like, we gotta do that. And again, it's easy for someone to say, I'm looking for someone that matches me. It's easy, but what's not easy is actually being a match for pretty much anyone that has any love style that they can love. If anyone can love you, then you're most likely going to find your match. But if you can only be loved in 1 out of 5 ways, you might as well join the MGTOW and the female version of MGTOW. That's what I'm saying.
That's yep. It's not going to work. That's true. It's not going to work. There's no way.
Let me.
You have to be able to know that. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, MzPoly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. Marion said, like, you can't be locked into. Like I said, if it's you're locked into someone showing you, oh, they only show me love this way. They always want to do this, but I don't like that. If you shut down, then like it's your relationship, you don't care. You just want them to give, but you're not thinking about that change of what you want and what you can give also. And then see where you can kind of fix. Hey, he gave me a whole bunch of time. That meant a lot to him because he doesn't normally do that. You have to be outside of yourself. Like you said, it's selfish kind of thought sometimes. And so you got to be you're supposed to be selfless, a little bit selfless. Not saying you should say, forget all the stuff I like, but come into a compromise too in those situations and finding your middle with that person.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
I'll say this, and this maybe it's because I'm just on the other side of as far as like relationships and just being in the committed one. But I feel like a lot of times people just make this way more complicated than really what it is. Like they make it way more complicated. And the thing
agree
is,
with that.
And the thing is that it ain't even all that hard. It ain't. Like a lot of times, like you can find the right person, but a lot of times we just choose wrongly. We choose wrongly. We make the wrong decisions. And then all of a sudden what we do is that we start projecting all these views based on a bunch of failed opportunities, one after another, after another, after another. Now, I mean, Marcus, we closing after this timer's up. Sorry, bro. I gotta close because it's the holiday and I gotta give me something to eat, and I know everybody else want to eat too.
We hear you got a house full over there.
Yeah, we got a house full up in here, y'all. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to moderate and do this thing at the same time. But I'm gonna allow Marcus to come up because that's the homie. But so I'm gonna drop the link real quick. But I'm gonna give an additional like 10 minutes to the stream. But at the end of the day, like it ain't even that hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to know who you are first. Starts with you knowing who you are first. You build your own foundation. You build who you are first, and then from there you find somebody that fits who you are. The Great Bolo TV says your vibe attracts your tribe. When you put that vibe out there, whether it's negative or positive, that's gonna affect what you get back. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be around somebody that's positive, that feeds into you, that feeds you, and you feed into them, you gotta put the energy out there. You know what I mean? But what we do is that we'll put the energy out there, but then we'll start to settle for people who we know is not even really for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, we gotta stop doing that. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, like, you know, when I mean like perfect exists, because like I said, perfection, just like love, is a perception. Love for me is a perception. My love is a perception based on my perspective. You know what I mean? So believe that love is somebody who just sits back, you know what I mean, and just rubs my feet. That's love for me. Or I may think love is communication on a Sunday. That's love for me. Love is subjective. All these things are subjective terms, and they're based on your perspective. They're not absolute. So I think that's the thing. Find what love means for you. Find what perfection means for you. Find what the best relationship means for you. Find out what that means for you, and you find a partner that's on that same vibe, and it's on, and when that, like the great Bolo TV said, that vibe that you have will attract your tribe, it will attract the person that you're supposed to be with, and you won't be having all these problems and be running into all these issues. Marcus, what up, man? Go ahead and shoot, brother.
What's up, everybody? Happy holidays.
Hey,
Thanksgiving
Marcus.
here.
Happy
Shout
Turkey
out to
Day.
Mr. Preston. Yep, happy Turkey Day, Mr. Best, Miss Lola, Miss Polly.
Hey.
You know, originally I was gonna come up with a vengeance, but because it's a holiday, I'm gonna spare Lola by my
Nah,
grace.
go in,
No,
dog. We here.
no. It's a good day, you know, because there's only two things that I'm allergic to that make me sneeze and cough, and that's Dust Bunny and Lola's bullshit. But I still got a lot of love for Lola. I love the whole the Dark Black File conspiracy show. That was actually a good show. You know.
Yeah, we mixing up something cool this weekend too, boy. You gonna wait till you
Yeah,
see it. Woo.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And you know, just want to make sure I wish you all happy holidays. Be safe out there. Um, yeah, I agree with Mr. Best 1,000% because a lot of times we make excuses and a lot of our stuff is self-inflicted wounds in our relationships. Sometimes we self-sabotage indirectly or directly. We project, we assume, we judge so quickly without taking the time to breathing and relaxing and understanding. And, you know, we make these mistakes or we let these red flags go past us purposely as well sometimes. So when you're trying to date or vet somebody, you see a certain little small red flag or one that can turn huge. It can be like a snowball effect, and then it blows up. So, yeah, man, just take the step back. Try to find someone that's actually with the same intentions as you are. I know that even though vetting, sometimes it can just change at the end, but at least your chances are at least slimmer of it crashing and burning than it is opposed to just, you know, what are you doing with that? Put that pencil down, woman.
Marcus, did you have any cooked sandwiches?
I see the body language. Is it your
Marcus,
zodiac? Is it your zodiac sign?
Big Zodiac killer.
Zodiac killer.
But Marcus, did you have any cooked sandwiches today, man? You got any cooked sandwiches?
Yeah, well, that's tomorrow. We're gonna leftover cooked sandwiches from Turkey Day. So, but you know, we had a turkey, we had some corn, some string beans, some cranberry sauce, no ham, stuffing, some Hawaiian rolls, and some gravy, little macaroni salad.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, so
And
that's what we had.
M3, you don't got to put your cape on for Lola, all right? We all got a cape on for Lola. That's our sister, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's Scully right there. But me and Lola, you think this intense, you say our Instagram calls, okay? When we get on IG and we be talking, oh man, yo, Mr. Best, Lola, yo, the IG calls we be on be crazy. We definitely be debating, but that's what we do. We always debate, man, but it's all love. It's never anything personal. It's always respect. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's checking in. Simon Hector, what's good, man? You know what I'm saying? What's good, Simon? Got my brother. Lola. You see what the chat?
Snap.
Wow.
Lola, Ali, yo.
Woo! He is not.
Ali versus Lola. There you go. How y'all doing, family? What's good, Ali? Happy Turkey Day. He shouted you out too. You know what I'm saying? He said Lola acting up again.
Oh, it's like it's meant to be. Is it your love language, Lola? Is it the love language?
You know what, Marcus? Are you single right now?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm off the market.
Yeah, Marcus been off the market for a minute.
I'm off the market.
Okay.
It's okay.
You off the
Lola.
market. Wait a minute. I wasn't told about that. When that
Right,
happened?
all right, that's new.
When
I
that
know it's been a few years. Been a few years.
the market?
But
Okay,
you know,
Mark.
I'm always here to help out, Miss
Yeah.
Polly. When you want to open up your DMs, I'll help you
When
out
that-
for your confessions.
Oh my God.
Good.
Hey,
man.
hey, don't come over here because you get like the whole brother husband. Don't do that.
You know what? Hey, whenever you need help, let me know. Us men, we gotta help out the ladies sometimes when they're in distress and they're trying to get a third branch. You know what I'm saying?
Not a brother husband. Not a brother husband. Not a brother husband.
What's that? Do I get paid?
He gonna be a whole brother husband playing
Do I
video
get
games.
paid? If I get paid, I get paid.
Hold on.
Playing video games.
Pause
getting
on the
fed
pause on the
good
stream.
food.
Pause on the stream. Pause on the stream. Lola, you got your wrench for up here, right?
No, I don't think I have access right now.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't. Like, I don't even think. Yeah, I don't.
God dang it! I'm trying to let y'all rock. Well, hold on. Can y'all rock out
What's wrong?
while brother gets something to eat real quick? You know what I mean?
Yeah, go for it. Go for
I
it.
can. I don't have a wrenchy thing.
No, but do you have the mod capabilities? You know?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. All right, y'all got it. If y'all come up,
I
y'all
have
sit in
it.
the back for a minute. You say you got it, MzPoly? Or no?
I have it. It's me.
Okay.
I
Hold on,
do.
y'all.
Hey, so does this brother husband get paid?
No, you
No,
get
we don't
to
get
sit
paid
and
like
wait your turn. That's what you get. Okay.
Oh man. Oh, so is this an example of toxic femininity over here? Man, is this
You gotta
misandry?
get paid to be in a relationship. That's
Man, you know
horrible.
what? I
This
feel
ain't
oppressed.
prostitution, Marcus.
I feel oppressed.
We don't over
I
here.
feel oppressed. Oh
So
man, I thought this was a
MzPoly,
matriarchy.
you know, hold on, y'all. MzPoly, you know how to let people in? You know how to highlight the comments and all that? You know how to do that?
I don't know how to highlight comment.
Can I highlight?
Hang on, we're gonna figure it out. We'll do.
You know how to let people in if they need to come up? You know how to let them in?
Just push. Well, I mean, let's find out together.
All right, so I'm stepping away for a second. That's what I'm gonna let y'all rock. Do the love. So, matter of fact, if anybody want to come up, in the next like
Listen,
10 seconds, you need to come up like right now so I can let you in. Or else I'm about to step away.
it is what it is. Listen.
Yeah, it is what it is at this point. But yeah.
Yes.
Why certain people gonna want to come up and talk shit.
Okay.
Everybody want to come up and talk.
Lola, like I said, Lola, I spared you. Stop it, by my grace, I spared you.
Marcus, you better go sit down and eat your sandwich and stop playing up here.
Listen. The last sandwich you tried to make me was cold as shit. So I don't know what you're talking about right now.
That's what you're gonna do. You're not gonna come up here with that shit. That's not what you do. Okay.
Wait a minute. Oh wait a minute. That's not what your zodiac red sign on your tarot card said. That you said you're gonna be all love and you were gonna be relaxed. Your tarot card readings. Your tarot card reading said you were gonna be chill as an iceberg, but you ain't.
I'm sure you were reading that.
And your
Lola,
and your
are
lucky
you
number.
from the DMV area?
Huh?
Are you from the DMV area?
As in DC, Maryland, Virginia? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, I love your accent. I can pick up the accent.
Thank you. I got so many people
On these YouTube streets.
talking about my accent. He's the Zodiac chaser.
Shout out to Baltimore.
Zodiac killer.
He can't even say it right. Okay.
Baltimore.
He can't even say it right.
Where's Vaughn Eric at? I need Vaughn up here, man.
First of all, okay, Vaughn is not gonna save you. Okay.
Wow.
I don't need him to save me. I just need him to witness.
Okay.
You need a witness from the
I did my part.
All right, Scully. Relax, Scully.
Oh no.
What you doing?
Listen, I feel like I did a great job. I don't know. Not enough, but yet enough.
Oh, you did a great job. Hey, MzPoly, you did a great job the other day.
I'm trying.
It's just that it went down a rabbit hole, but it's okay. It was interesting.
What? No.
Remember that stream we had like
Marcus, let me tell you something.
That was not our fault. It was not your fault or my fault. It was not your fault or my fault. It's not your fault or mine.
Lola. Where the hell were you? That's what.
But it was entertaining though.
It
was entertaining.
That car better.
It was funny.
There are people cussing, getting called all kinds of names. You know.
Jerry Springer.
I was I didn't know what to do. It was a lot, but it's fine. It
was entertaining though.
Okay,
it was a good show. It's actually one of my favorite shows.
It was entertaining, but it definitely. I try to, I don't mind because I date people or whatever, but I put my own email up on the board, and I said, okay, let's just go through these and let's go through how I should respond as a feminine woman, right? Because obviously, I'm like maybe too aggressive or short with men. That's what I was told by some gentlemen in another discussion. So let's go through these emails, and you tell me how I should respond to these guys. Since I should just give every man who walks up to me, who's brave enough to walk up to me, an opportunity to shine, right? So that's what I was told. So I went through the emails, and we discussed that even though I was putting myself up there, it wasn't me asking for advice. I do not need advice about how to do poly from monogamous people. It doesn't make sense. But yet they were trying to give me advice and asked me, oh, what if you did this? And I was like, no, it is hypothetical. No one heard me. And they just kept trying to break it down. They were asking me personal questions.
Yeah,
I was like, it's not
Lola,
really
when
for
I
me.
I asked Polly, hey, I'm sorry, this kind of changed topics. This kind of went down a rabbit hole. And then she's like, you think, Marcus? You think? You see what happens?
Okay, Marcus.
MzPoly.
It didn't work out. It was
not my fault.
It was horrible.
I'm not from Baltimore.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't demand the room,
Go ahead, Mr. Preston.
I had actually had a gentleman on my podcast that I interviewed. It was around 3 months ago. He's in polygamy and he has 3 wives. It was very interesting.
Wait, say again.
I interviewed a guy on my podcast.
Wait, say again. You said you met a man with 3 wives.
Yes, he's a polygamist.
Yeah. I think
okay.
But you got a lag, MzPoly? Do you have a lag?
He was very interesting.
Yeah, actually, I have some clips on my IG page if you want to check them out. But yeah, he was very interesting. 2 of his wives were in the chat. So I think I might do like a part 2 with him and one of his wives, so we can get a female perspective of the polygamy lifestyle, since we got his perspective.
I think honestly, right, when it comes to polygyny. Now, I've never practiced. Well, let me take that back. I did experiment with polygyny one time. Okay. However, it wasn't for me, not because it's polygyny.
Okay.
Because the way I love and the way that I see family, okay, not so much relationships like with a man, but family, that sort of setup just doesn't work for me, just because of the nature of women versus men. It just doesn't work for me. But I'll be honest with you, when you get into the perspective of the women and then perspective of the children from those unions, you start noticing that there's a split ideology on whether or not that type of union is something that's supported by the people in it. Like, most men in foreign countries don't prefer their daughters to be 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th wives. They don't prefer that. Even though they have 5 wives, they don't prefer their daughters to be wives like that. They know what they do, and they don't want that on their children. Now, for people who are in those circumstances that have children, when you ask those children how they feel about polygyny, half of the time, half of the children are like, no. At least half of the time. More than that, I'm being generous, but more than that, they're like, nah, I ain't with this. And it's because when you're a child coming up in that circumstance, your perspective is not the same as someone in a relationship. You're looking at, your half siblings or your step siblings and how they feel about their relationship with their father relative to how close he is with the mom. Now, that's another issue too, as far as like closeness to different women. And I know because I came up in Orthodox Islam, that is a big issue. It's even written inside of the Quran, different provisions to circumvent men that love one wife more than the other, because that causes what they call fitna or confusion.
Mhm.
So it's like some, but here's the thing, even inside the Quran, it says amongst men, none are able to be fair between women. That's written in the Quran. So it's a challenge to men to say you can have these wives, provided you can be fair to all of them. However, it does also say you can't really be fair between women. However you interpret that, that's what the Quran says. So when you talk about polygyny, it's like, yeah, it might work politically, right? Like this is in the Oriental countries. There's countries over there where they do not what you do, MzPoly, but one woman to multiple men. Usually they're physically related to each other, they're brothers.
Mhm.
And that's not because of anything
Yes.
sexual.
No, that's
because
true.
of right. It's just because of the numbers over there, the land usage. That's it. But it's like, and usually the children don't even know who their fathers are. They just know they're related to these men, and they literally are related to all of them. So it's like it's different forms of that. And I think when we look at America and polygyny here in present modern day times, that's not a good picture of polygyny, because it's just not a good picture. So if you really want to understand polygyny, you have to travel the world and get different perspectives in third world countries, second and first world countries, to really get a picture of it. Like a big
I do have a friend who is from Africa, and he did come from a polygamy family. His father had 5 wives. And this is what he said to me out of his own mouth, that he felt like coming from that environment, he felt like he had a good childhood. He had a really good childhood. And I asked him, I'm like, did you feel like your father didn't spend as much time with you because he has 5 wives and all these kids? And he said no. He said they always felt love from their father. They always felt like, they got the attention from their father. So I found that to be very interesting. He doesn't want to come on my podcast and talk about it, but I did pick his brain since he was a product of it, and he had nothing but positive things to say about it.
Right. And I've seen that too. I've seen people say, well, they it worked for them as a child.
I mean, I don't think.
But I've seen the opposite as well. That's why I said it's a split. It's not always the same.
Right. I don't think anyone's saying that.
What do you say, Ms.
Yeah, he said to him he felt like it was a plus of him.
Oh no, I was saying, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know what. I think I'm lagging now. It might be me.
Yeah, I think you lagging.
Go ahead, Ms. Poly.
No, I'm saying like most of the polyandry is they usually and usually it's family members. They usually marry brothers, because men usually don't connect with men outside of their family very well. It actually works better that way if they have some kind of community. Let's just be real honest about it. But for the women, yeah, I mean, it is. It is very, very true. And I even see it even with people I date. It's definitely like that. Men don't really make bonds with other men when they get to a certain age outside of the family members. They just don't. They can find a friend, they're cool, whatever, yeah. But most men don't make like these large amount of men friends. If you know what I'm saying, like they don't have a lot of male friends. Women will have a whole bunch. Men don't have a lot of male friends. After a certain age, it's like it is what it is. Whoever I'm friends with, that's who I got for the rest of my life until we die.
But then, Ms. Poly, you got to look at the difference in culture too, because out here in the West, right, when a woman sleeps between 2 brothers, that literally destroys families. like, and literally destroys families. One incident will destroy a whole entire family. Versus when you
Oh, you mean like the Jacksons?
So I don't know their personal story, but I know from my own personal walk, I've seen several families like that I know physically that have been destroyed because of women sleeping in between brothers. So here in this culture, that doesn't work. Versus in Asia, it does work. So that's why I said when it comes to that particular topic, you have to be very careful on when you say, well, something just works, right? Like she said, well, there's a guy that said that it worked. He's from Africa, right? And it worked. Meanwhile, we don't know if his mother was the first wife or the last wife. We don't know if she was the favorite wife. We don't know if he's the oldest and he inherited all of the stuff, because in Africa, that's a big thing between children that split families. We don't know that. But when we look at, well, let's go to India, right? There's a lot of problems with that over there. Like like in the Arab countries, there's a lot of issues there. That divorce is very rampant there, but there's no way to calculate it over there, right? Over polygyny. Like when you in the Islamic community, you know what it is, but if you're not, you don't really see it. So this is why I say, even though I have experimented with it, it depends on you, especially if you're here in the West and you come up in a culture like this. It depends on your temperament too. But I'll say, if you really want to understand it, try to understand it holistically before you get into it. Because once you get into it, you can see some very weird stuff going on. Like, I remember there was this one time I had a friend, her and her husband was having problems sexually. And she wasn't fitting to change. And he wasn't fitting to change. And so she proposed the idea of him having a second wife. And a second wife that she felt she was okay with, meaning a female she was friends with. And when I got hold of that information, I'm like, look here now. What I ain't about to do is come in between no married couple on no sexuality situation, because y'all, like, look. Like, culturally, this is not the thing for me. Y'all having problems and y'all think adding someone else in it is going to solve what's between y'all. I don't get, that's not me. And so this is why they were from that background, that religious background. But again, it's an open flame for me from based on what I know in my experience. I would never sit and tell someone to be in a polygynous relationship to solve the sexual problems of the people that was previously there. That doesn't even make sense to me. But that's what people are doing out here. So, and MzPoly, you know, when you talking about polygynous relationships, it's kind of hard for people to capitulate what's going on because they're not a part of that lifestyle. However, it's like, and I will attest, I was not a part of that lifestyle that they were living, and I wasn't fit to give them advice or be a part of it, because I'm not going to be the guinea pig with my own life, first of all, and with somebody else's. They had children together, they had a whole life situated. And you know how jealous women can be, especially sexually. Let something like that go down, and now you got a bigger problem because there's children involved, there's a bunch of stuff involved. That's not the life I want to live. So I don't give my opinion on that whatsoever. I will speak on it in terms of my own experience, but I can't really tell them, oh, you know, you need to do such and such. I can't do it. Like, you know, I can't. But maybe somebody else can that did do that. But I'm not. Not at all. I've heard of people coming in, like, what you call them? People that do sex counseling with couples or whatever. And I've heard of that. But that's so far outside of my understanding. I can't really, yeah, that's not for me. No matter how you cut it, that's not for me. And Ali, if you need to stop talking SHIT in the chat, that's what you need to do, okay? Like, stop all that. All right, I ain't fit to tell you too much more of what you're doing here, okay, Ali? Like, for real. I know already put you in your place. We okay, but this is what it is, okay? Put that fire out, Ali. I know you burning up over there. Put it out, all right? Just put it out, all right? You ain't gonna be up in Baltimore. I know how you is. Just put that out. I had to throw shots at.
Ooh.
Yeah, they talking about my city. Like, you know,
yeah.
Too much of this.
Is because I mean I wasn't always poly, so like I wasn't always poly, like I wasn't always anyway. So I think that's different. Like I started being monogamous. I was with someone for like off and on for 50 years, and I have 3 children with them. Like so there are things that like when it comes to switching back and forth between the conversation that I'm able to do because I can switch back and forth. I'm able to do like she said, for people who are starting out or already been poly, I can't go. I can't ask like somebody, like, oh, my boyfriend is acting this way. I can't do that. I don't have the freedom to do such because I've been feelings kind of hurt that I've talked to and said, hey, this happened, Dad, and like that. They'll say, oh, get rid of them. Well, why don't you just get one?
MzPoly, I think you breaking up.
Judge me. I've had me. I've had people.
You breaking up?
I'm saying because of that.
You was breaking up. I didn't really catch what you said. You breaking up?
Yeah, you breaking up really bad.
I'm sorry.
Can you say?
I'm having a bad connection too. Lord.
I was telling you, I was struggling.
I ask people. Gee.
Are you hot? Are you?
This connection is bad today. My internet's been off and on real bad.
Are you hardwired or are you just off of Wi-Fi?
You on
No,
Wi-Fi?
I'm not hardwired. Yeah, I'm Wi-Fi right now.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies, I am back, and I am about to close the stream. All right. Anybody got any last comments? Anybody? Lola doing research for the Sunday, y'all. She's doing a lot of research. She got about 40 documents, about 15 videos.
Yes. Okay.
And we're gonna squeeze this all in within 2 hours, all right? So.
Okay, yeah, within 2 hours, we'll try and get all of it done. But we'll probably need this part 2, to be honest. Yeah. Oh my God, you see them talking mess about me in the comment section.
I see.
Yeah, they talking a lot of mess. It's okay.
Enjoy.
Eat some Nebraska.
Salute to Mr. Nebraska for coming up. Salute to everybody for coming up, man. Marcus, Big Rich, everybody that came. Much love to all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Much in the chat stream, man. We had to be here for the holidays and represent for y'all. We had to show y'all some love. But yeah, now go spend some time with your family.
All right. Y'all have a good evening.
Bye, y'all.
Okay.
Knowledge and relationships